There's a particular clown I've made a couple videos on over the years because he can't help but embarrass himself sometimes. And in the crypto community, he's looked at in the same way a fart is, where it's something that just makes you laugh because it's a little silly and a little stinky. His name is BitBoy Crypto. I'm not here to just give you a recap and go over his resume. There's plenty of content that goes over all of the shady things he's done over the years. Instead, I want to focus on the modern day, present day, 2023 AD, where once again BitBoy Crypto couldn't help but make a fool of himself. He just broadcast an unhinged live stream here on YouTube that frightened more people than the original run of the Blair Witch Project. He was streaming himself outside of an individual's house that he was having beef with and accused him of stealing his Lamborghini. So he was there to confront him directly and had a weapon in his car as well. So the whole situation was dangerous. The things he was saying was alarming, and eventually officers do arrive there, but then there's another plot twist that's revealed at the end that nobody, not even God himself, would have seen coming. This whole stream played out like a mission in Grand Theft Auto 5. So I'm going to show you some clips from it. For the first clip here, I'm not going to show you any of the video footage because he just reveals where this guy lives. So I don't want to show any of that, but I want you to hear the audio because I think it's important.
Carlos has my Lamborghini right here in his garage. So today, guys, I'm going to be live streaming and I'm going to be telling the entire story.
Now, it's important to give even further context to what led to this situation. He's there because he believes this man stole his Lamborghini, and he's going to spill the beans, let the cat out of the bag here, and talk in depth about this individual as well as his association with this deep cast of characters and different things. And it's a lot of very eyebrow-raising, alarming accusations he makes against them with things he's said he's done or things that he's capable of doing. And from everything I've read from the community, as well as everything I've read up on in the BitBoy cinematic universe leading up to this situation, no one knows if any of these accusations are truthful. However, even if everything he says here is beyond a shadow of a doubt the truth, BitBoy Crypto is fluent in facts, all of this is legitimate, everyone can agree that he handled it in the worst way possible. This is not how you should have handled this situation at all. It should have gone to authorities, have it go through court. Instead, Ben, his name is Ben, rolls out here like he's fucking Batman. He's rolling out here like he's the spirit of vengeance, scooting in sideways with his truck and a weapon in his truck just in case shit gets hairy. Like, that is not optimal at all. And then streaming the whole thing on YouTube, turning it into a fucking spectacle, is bafflingly unhinged.
Hey, how's it going? Yep.
Hey, stop.
Hey, how's it going? Oh, him?
Stop.
Oh, stop. I couldn't hear.
You have a weapon on you.
No, I do not.
Okay.
I do not.
So.
I have one in my vehicle, but I do not have a weapon on me.
Okay.
Now this is when the cops arrive into the equation. They confront Ben saying, "Hey bub, what's going on here, Buster, huh? What's all the commotion?" And this is when a very intriguing narrative starts to unwind.
Okay.
Do me a favor. Take out your whatever.
Now, sorry, I reached too fast. I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay.
Put your phone down.
Okay.
Put the phone down.
Okay. I'll put the phone down. Okay.
Put the phone.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Put the phone down.
Put the fanny pack down.
Okay.
Him putting that phone down was harder than getting a child to eat their vegetables. He did not want to put that phone down because for him, it seems like he's fully content-brained, and all of this is great for the stream. So he really didn't want to put that phone down, but eventually he plays ball. But he makes sure to put it down in a way that it still captures him and all of the glory that's happening here. Which is so fucking weird why he wouldn't just turn the stream off here. He is proudly filming his most embarrassing moment in this dimension. He is going to the Doofus Club to receive high accommodation, and he's doing it with a smile on his face.
What's going on?
What's going on? This man inside of this house.
Actually, he's gonna check you real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just the weapons.
I'm sorry. I have a. Okay. Okay. Yep. No weapons. No weapons.
Where in the car is your gun?
It's in the back seat.
Back seat?
Yep.
Is anybody else in the car?
I feel like I should mention that this wasn't something that caught him off guard. He even said earlier in the stream that he'd like the cops to show up. He knew that this was a very likely situation where cops would arrive at the scene, and he welcomed it with open arms. But now that they're here, it's not exactly seeming like he's all that happy to see them. And the officer just asked him a very important question. Is there anyone else in the car? And boy howdy, you're not ready for what comes next. I don't care how much you've studied the periodic table, you are not prepared for this element of surprise.
Yes,
Who's in the car? Who?
what's that?
Who's in your car?
Who's in my car?
Yes.
Okay. Let's,
Who's in your car?
who's in my car?
Who's in your truck, sir?
Cassie is in my car. Cassie's in my
All
truck.
right, Cassie.
Cassie's in my truck. My wife knows that we're here, by the way. She knows we came to do this. But my wife is aware. So we're live on YouTube right now.
Okay.
We got about 2,500 people watching. So Cassie is a girl I had an affair with. She's involved in the situation with me and this guy here.
My jaw was on the floor. I actually felt like I was watching some kind of early 2000s, like Young and the Restless, some kind of soap opera. Like, you couldn't have scripted that any more dramatic. Like, he starts taking those pauses, like, who's in my car? Sweat pouring down his face, maybe like a close-up zoom in. Well, let's, who's, in my car? That car. Yeah, who's in my... And then eventually, he finally spits it out. Fucking Spitboy Crypto here finally lets the officer know who's in the vehicle after he asked the question. The officer had to pull teeth to get there, but he finally states that the woman in the car is the woman he's cheating on his wife with. And then immediately, like, he knows Stream is watching because he made sure of it. He, for some reason, didn't anticipate that the officers would look at his car and realize there's another human being there. So I guess it just never even registered in his smooth brain that the officers were going to find out that the woman he's having an affair with is at the scene. Unless she activated some kind of active camouflage out of Halo or some shit, some kind of forbidden, ninjutsu to disguise herself, like they were going to find her. And for some reason, he kept the stream on, even knowing that was going to happen. So he immediately starts talking to Stream, and not even the officers really, like, but my wife knows that Cassie and I are here. I had an affair with Cassie, but my wife knows we're here. We had actually just come from my daughter's tennis match. She knows we're over here doing this. It's not exactly scummy or slimy because my wife knows that the woman I'm cheating on her with is here with me at the scene with this guy that I'm having this problem with.
In the situation with me and this guy here, my wife knows. We were just at my daughter's tennis match. Cassie and I have came over here because this man is extorting me. He's death threatening me. He stole my Lamborghini. My Lamborghini is in his garage right now.
The officer just did the kindest thing anyone's ever done for BitBoy Crypto in his whole life. He turned the show off. He takes his phone, turns it face down, so that people can no longer see all the action and all of that. Now, he doesn't turn the stream off, maybe he didn't know how, but he puts the phone face down and he leads BitBoy Crypto away from it so you can't really hear him very well and you can't see anything anymore. So he just made it private, which is what this whole thing should have been in the first place. If all of these accusations are true and all of that, it should have been handled privately and instead of turning it into a live stream and escalating to a point where you're bringing a fucking weapon to this guy's house. Now, the stream continues for about 18 minutes after this, but it's all just the void. So you can't see anything anymore. Eventually the stream ends. Now, the stream lasted just shy of 40 minutes, and throughout the entirety of it, he is speaking very rushed. He's very out of breath. Sometimes it really feels like he may be under the influence of something. Of course, I'm not there with a fucking toxicology report. I'm just giving it the old eyeball test. He's just speaking in a way that feels like he's not in his right mind. He's not in a healthy headspace. And most of the community is attributing a lot of this to the really rough month BitBoy Crypto has had. I mentioned that I was reading up on the BitBoy Crypto cinematic universe. Well, that's a novel longer than Homer's Odyssey. It has so much that has happened in Ben's life over the last month that it has been an incredibly long read on getting caught up with the lore. But basically, he's had his whole life turned on its ass. It's in a position now where he feels he has been the victim of a scam, which a lot of people in the community felt was incredibly ironic and actually a gut-bustingly great joke because for a long time, BitBoy Crypto has actually had a reputation for being looked at as a scammer himself in the eyes of some people, with many feeling as though they've been victims of scams that he has run, allegedly. So when that information came out, the floodgates really started to open. A lot happened with his company, and he eventually was saying like he didn't even have $20 to fill up his tank of gas, and then was like asking the community for donations. It was a mess. But a lot of that has been going on over the last month, and then it led up to this. So there is speculation that perhaps this is his breaking point. This is him having a meltdown, a breakdown that he is streaming now. And I think that's probably accurate. This whole situation here doesn't exactly come from a thought process that's thinking rationally. Now, Ben did get arrested at the scene, but you can't put Big Ben in the pen for long. He spent about 8 hours in the slammer, according to his tweet this morning. He was charged with loitering, I guess, and he immediately took to Twitter to let the world know, you don't tussle with the muscle. According to BitBoy Crypto, he's been on steroids, and if that's the case, if that's true, I don't know where his muscles are. He must have minted those on the blockchain. Seems kind of a waste to be on steroids without actually working out. I also watched an interview where someone who has worked closely with Ben has accused him of suffering from roid rage, and I've seen a few people start to say that that's what this stream was, the product of a roid rage incident. I don't think that's the case, and I don't know how true the claim is that he has roid rage blow-ups from time to time, but I thought it was at least worth mentioning as, you know, a maybe that had something to do with this, but personally, I don't think it did. He also did make a lot of other tweets this morning. One of them really just makes it feel like we're stuck in a fucking reality TV show with him now, where he's talking about Cassie, the woman that he's cheating on his wife with. He comes out screaming that he's not getting rid of Cassie, saying that his friends and family have lied, manipulated him, they want to break them up, but he's never getting rid of her, never. And then says, me, my wife, and Cassie are trying to figure this out. We're all grown adults capable of making our own decisions, and we don't need any of you to help us with that decision. So please butt out of my personal life as it relates to my relationships. He's right, it is a personal relationship, and it should be a private matter, but with BitBoy Crypto, there's no such thing as privacy. That word doesn't exist. He, for a long time, has shared so much about himself and his life online, publicly, for a long time. So, obviously people know a lot about his situation because he kind of shares a lot of it. He may be a goofball, but he is correct about something here, that they are all adults and they can make their own decisions. That is true. But if I may chime in with a little unsolicited advice to his wife, don't stay with a man who's going to cheat on you. Why be faithful to a man who's not going to be faithful to you? If this was a polyamorous relationship and it was agreed upon in this marriage where they could see other people, that'd be one thing, that'd be fine, you'd be on the same page. But from everything that's been put out there, it was not a poly relationship. This was an extracurricular activity happening outside of the marriage. So if you want to try and work through it together, that's your right, that's totally fine, that's what you want to do. But just know, he has very much drawn a line in the sand. No matter what happens, come hell or high water, Cassie will be there. So basically you're now making a decision moving forward on whether you want to stay with BitBoy Crypto and also marry his mistress, because he's made it clear, she's not going anywhere. She's tagging along forever in this WWE match we call life. So again, they're adults, they can make their own decision what they want to do with this. This is a private matter that for some reason BitBoy just keeps taking publicly. But anyway, just a wildly dangerous and bafflingly unhinged situation here with this stream, and that's really about it. Just wanted to give you the update on the BitBoy Crypto saga here. That's it. See ya. This is a bit of an older story I want to cover today, but it's one that I still think of from time to time because of its absurdity. It's vintage. 2021, which in internet years is prehistoric, basically. It's fallen out of everyone's consciousness, and I need to do my due diligence to put it back, because man oh man is it a weird one. So let's dive in. It all started in early 2021, when a young teenage girl started to receive really mean text messages from an anonymous troll, and she was getting cyberbullied through these messages for quite some time. Her boyfriend then started to get the same messages. They were extremely personal, they were extremely nasty, constantly telling her to kill herself, this and that. And the mother got really upset at this because obviously, who wouldn't? Her daughter is being harassed by some weirdo degenerate. As I imagine any good caring parent would do, they see this kind of behavior and they start rolling up their sleeves, giving them one of these, why I oughta when I find who's behind this. So she starts to launch an investigation and work collaboratively with authorities to find the culprit. Who's behind this? Could this be the work of the infamous hacker known as 4chan? And they went on a hunt to track this person down because it didn't stop, and it was tons of messages, hundreds of messages, over a year's worth of harassment and 349 pages worth of DMs with this shit. And eventually the FBI got involved in this case to figure out who's doing this because it was so personal and so targeted and mean that they really wanted to figure it out. And this is all attacking a minor too. So it was like stalking a minor, just harassing, unrelenting. And eventually the investigation concludes that it was the mother that was sending these text messages. She was running it all through a VPN to try and avoid being tracked down. So she had a real nefarious scheme here where she would just keep telling her daughter to kill herself and insulting her and the boyfriend. There was even this subplot that arose where she started to blame another classmate that could have been behind it. So she started to try and frame another child for this. It was fucking wild. And keep in mind, the mother was the one working so closely with the authorities to, I guess, throw them off of her trail. So this whole thing was kind of like that SpongeBob meme where it's like Maniac on the loose and he's on the walkie-talkie with the Maniac poster behind him with his face on it. That was this case in real life.
7, the Isabella County mom who catfished her own daughter for almost 2 years is going to prison. Kendra Licari was arrested in December for stalking her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend.
Now, I didn't mention a moment ago, but I will now, that it was more than just sending those really nasty messages. Apparently, Kendra Licari would even send her daughter doctored photos of herself. I guess, like, with really mean shit on it. It didn't go into detail, but I read one of the reports that it was more than just text. She would send photos, too. So I'm guessing she would, like, Photoshop shit with her daughter in there to, like, bully her further off of it. It's so baffling.
For nearly 2 years, she sent hundreds of harassing and obscene messages and pictures to the teens every day. It wasn't until the mother of the boyfriend and Licari herself went to police for help. That's when they discovered Licari was the one sending the messages. Police also found she tried to frame a third teen as the one sending those messages. Today in court, she was sentenced to up to 5 years in prison.
So she'll spend at least 19 months in prison for all of this. And what's even wilder is that there's still no explanation for why. What was her motive? Why would she do this? This is some huge fucking hater energy. She's waking up real early in the morning to have extra time to hate her own daughter. She would send up to 12 text messages a day, every day, all just shitting on her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend. It doesn't seem like there's anything to gain out of this except for making your daughter scared and miserable and potentially traumatizing her, because her daughter's a very young teenager during all of this. So I can't imagine what her motivation was, and she's never explained or elaborated on what the plan was. So I've seen speculation that people thought this was maybe another, like, Munchausen by proxy situation. If anyone is familiar with, like, the Gypsy Rose case, you're probably familiar with that term. But I don't know if that would necessarily even apply here. I really don't know. Maybe it is the mom trying to, like, isolate the daughter somehow by making her afraid of all of her classmates, or maybe trying to push the boyfriend out of her life. The whole thing is just a giant fucking question mark of why would anyone ever do this? And she did this every day for over a year. This was part of her morning routine. Get a nice cup of joe and shit on your daughter. Why? Maybe a power thing? Like maybe she was bullied in high school, so now she's trying to, do the same to, like, take that back. She's, like, passing the torch to herself to be the bully now. I don't get it. No one really does. And she has not said why. At least not from what I've found. All you can find is speculation and theories on what the motive could possibly be.
Isabella County Prosecutor David Barbary said this is one of the most confusing and complicated cases he has had to deal with. Not only from the case itself, Kendra Licari harassing and catfishing her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend for more than a year, but also when it came to sentencing. When it comes to sentencing, they hope to let the victims have a say. But the two victims here, Licari's daughter, she's hoping for leniency. She didn't want to feel responsible for putting her mom in prison. The other victim, her boyfriend, their family wanted the book thrown at Licari.
That's another super fucked up component to all of this, because not only was the daughter the victim of this relentless harassment campaign from her own mother, but now her mother is going to be going away to prison because of all of it. So now she's going to be growing up without her mom around for quite some time. It's just a really sad situation. I don't know why the mom did this, and also why she refuses to elaborate on what she was fucking thinking. She openly admitted to all of it, and she apologized saying she doesn't want to hurt anybody else, but she still has never said why she did it in the first place and continued doing it for so long. It just, I don't understand. Maybe she was like, beta testing her shit talk for her League of Legends solo queue games, so she'd like use her daughter as a guinea pig. Like, let's see how my daughter reacts when I tell her this. Not enough tears. I'm gonna have to go harder. I need to make sure that all the dog shit players in my lobby feel really bad. I need to make sure my trash talk is S tier. But anyway, she pled guilty to 2 counts of stalking a minor, and she's going to prison for some time now. And it's just a really weird situation, obviously, but it merely makes you think. Your biggest hater, who exactly are they? It could be anyone. And don't give me any of that mumbo-jumbo baloney about how everyone loves you, you don't have haters. You do. I'll hit you with the cold water. Even if there was a perfect person that existed, they would have haters because they are perfect. They would hate them for that. So no matter what, I promise you there are people that don't like you. And who are they? This story makes you think. Makes you sit back and go, it really could be anyone. What if the person that's replying to all of your tweets saying awful things like, you're so short, why'd you end up so short, dummy, stupid face, greasy little goblin man? What if that person is actually my own mother? Or father? What if they're both in on it? What if they both have alt accounts where they're constantly spamming my shit, pointing out every insecurity that I could possibly ever have? Could be. You never know, as is clear here. So yeah, anyway, that's really about it. So yeah. I remember a decade or so ago, there was this trend where some creepy degenerate losers would go around in public and try and sneakily take pictures of women's panties by sliding their phone under their dress when they weren't paying attention. They treated it like they were Sam Fisher and Splinter Cell on a stealth mission trying to grab these photographs. And they'd take these pictures and they were called upskirts. If I remember correctly, there was even a Reddit community for that where they would proudly post this, which, by the way, is illegal. They were posting evidence of a crime they had committed on the subreddit. I'm pretty sure it got fully shut down, but right now there is like a Reddit upskirts community, but I think that's something totally different, like a phoenix that rose from those ashes, because it looks like those are upskirts that the people are taking of themselves for that community. But I do remember that there was a huge controversy about that a long time ago, and then pretty much overnight, it disappeared. Just like Godzilla after a big rampage, it just vanished. I'd never heard about upskirts again. I never read any headlines about anyone doing upskirts, getting like arrested or anything like that, until 2 days ago, with a Target creep who got caught on video taking an upskirt of another shopper. And it's become a pretty big story now. So when I first saw this, I thought it was fake. I thought it was like one of those rage bait things that TikTok does really often. Because it really looks, it's so over the top, like I really thought it was staged to be like a lesson, like don't be a peeping Tom, don't be like this guy. But it turns out this is all super real. So he's now facing felony charges for this, obviously. I don't know why there's a watermark here though.
Excuse me, what are you doing? No, I just saw you put that underneath her dress. Absolutely you did.
No, ma'am, I really wasn't.
You absolutely did.
Ma'am, I really wasn't.
So, like, he looks pretty much right at her while she's filming, and he puts his phone under her dress. So I really thought it was like, oh, this is a skit. This is fake. But no, this guy is just that much of a brazen pervert. Degenerate. It's actually real. So I'll show you the follow-up in a second, but no, 100. He actually leaves here in handcuffs. He is facing felony charges, and his whole life is ruined. Rightfully so, because who knows how many times he's done this. Upskirts are a crime. Like, you can't be doing that, obviously. He's a fucking degenerate. His legs shaking, that's wild. Oh yeah, hey, we didn't finish the video, yeah. And also, instead of leaving, he stays to try and, like, talk his way out of it. Like, he was trying to find all the right dialogue options in the tree to get the good ending, instead of just running away like most people like him. So he stays the entire time to get arrested.
I really promise I wasn't trying to do anything inappropriate. I wasn't. I really wasn't. I'm not like that.
Obviously you are. I literally have it on video.
But ma'am, I'm not. I really am not. Like, I know it might have seemed that way in like the
No,
video.
no. Okay, listen to me.
Yes, ma'am.
We're gonna wait for them to get here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Like, I was just trying to look
Nope.
at books.
I was just trying to look at books. Okay. That's... what an interesting alternate theory there. He's just browsing some good reads. That's all. In the Pokemon cards section, where all the best books are. Does bro know porn exists? There's so many people like this, though. It's for them, I think, it's like the thrill of doing something like this. Like, I imagine this probably isn't the only time he's done it. And apparently he had been following the lady filming around the entire time, which is why she's filming here, because she got a very creepy vibe from this guy. And then I guess at some point she de-aggroed him, so then he went to this girl, started following her, and then did this.
No, I have video of him sticking his phone underneath this lady's dress as she had bent over, videotaping her. And he followed me all around the store.
Okay. So...
We need to get police.
Okay, if you can go ahead and call them also.
Oh, they don't have the next one. But he gets taken away in handcuffs. But he gets taken away from the target with the police. Turns out he was like a very active member of the church, like the local church they were at. This and that. He tried to talk his way out of it. It has not worked, and now he's facing some super serious charges. But this was something that I found interesting. He keeps denying that he wasn't doing anything wrong, and he apparently showed the police his phone, like the recent pictures, and he didn't have any recent pictures, but I don't know if that also means videos, or if he also had time to delete them. Last I heard, they subpoenaed to get like his deleted information for forensic examination. And they also said this too. Police say they have yet to discover anything inappropriate involving children. Yeah, he's a volunteer at the elementary school. Arrested and cuffed at a fucking library. Show some respect, brother. He's a target. Why was the lady taking a video in the grocery store? Perfect time to catch him. Damn it, it's a Target. It's not just a grocery store, and it's not just a library. Show some respect. But as she said, she was filming him because he was initially following her around in the children's section. She got a creepy vibe, so she started filming him and following him around and then caught that. This. Imagine the unexpected turn of events. He didn't film anything. The charges against that poor lady would be crazy. Even if in the most unlikely of circumstances he didn't film anything, him putting the phone under this lady's dress still shows the intent. Like, even if he didn't hit record, like he missed it, he still showed the intent. And even if you can't arrest him for that, he's still going to be ostracized from like his church community and like his friends for that. That's creepy shit no matter what. I don't think he was recording. I think they hear the click of a photo being taken. Nope. I don't know if this is true. Chat can tell me if this is true or not. When I was reading through the story after I found out it was real, I learned that this was a pretty popular thing overseas. So I think in Japan, I think is where it was, they instituted this mandate that if you're taking a picture or a video, it has to have a sound. So you can't do this discreetly anymore because it makes a sound. And I thought that was the craziest shit. That's real? That is true? That's wild. It was that big of a problem, huh? US supermarkets have the same energy as random encounters in GTA. My dad died taking an upskirt photo. Alright. Interesting meme. So he's actually facing some additional charges as well for secret peeping. They issued a warrant after identifying 3 separate victims at the store on Monday morning, so he's facing 5 counts of secret peeping in total. Dude was really creeping and peeping on a Monday morning here. Allegedly 3 separate victims? Goodness gracious, Jesus Christ. He was just sliding his phone under everyone with a pulse at this store, I guess. But anyway, he's been caught red-handed here. He would have got away with it if it wasn't for those meddling iPhones that can also record him as well. Like, the crazy thing about a phone is it can be used for more than just filming panties. It can film you filming panties. So I guess we'll see what happens here. I highly doubt there's any alternate explanation for what he was doing in this video. I can't think of a single possible other reason for why he did what he did there aside from upskirts. That's the only logical thing. I can't even think of some kind of ridiculous theory. Never mind, scratch that. I did come up with a ridiculous theory. What if he wasn't grabbing upskirts there and instead saw a very venomous spider on the ground? He saw a black widow and he got down there calmly as to not scare the shopper or scare the spider away and then smashed it with his phone. Who knows? Maybe that's the story. Maybe that's what he did. He squished a bug and saved the day. Obviously, I'm fucking kidding with that. The only thing that can explain his behavior here is that he is a sexual degenerate that was grabbing upskirts. So I guess we'll see what charges stick here or what comes from this story. That's really about it. I just wanted to share it. That's it. See ya. Have you ever heard the stories of the Burbank butt sniffer? I thought not. It's not a story the Jedi would tell you. The Burbank butt sniffer is a menace who's been on the prowl for a long time now, but rose to infamy about 2 years ago in the public eye with a TikTok video that captured him in the act at a Barnes & Noble's on a serial sniffing spree.
Staring at me. It felt like anywhere I moved, he kept following. I couldn't tell if I was being paranoid or if he was just reading a book and he just happened to be in that little corner. Anyways, I recorded just in case he was trying to say anything or do anything to me. But I definitely didn't expect him to do this. Like, what the actual fuck? And the whole time I'm thinking I'm fine because he hasn't said anything or touched me or anything. But then you notice that he goes over and does the same thing to this girl. And he'll crouch down low and pretend like he's doing something and then smell? I don't know. What are you doing? I was so freaked out.
His voice when she asks him what he's doing, where it's like trembling and panting almost. My shoe. Like, that right there is haunting. He literally sounds demented and evil. Like some kind of conniving creep from a cartoon. He sounds like a villain from a CW production, but he's not make-believe. This is a real sex offender. So in this video, you can see him sniff her rear end and then go to another woman in another aisle doing a similar thing where he's like on the ground, you know, tinkering with some books, but then he like sneaks a smell in. He's basically treating Barnes & Noble's like an all-you-can-eat buffet of whiffing tookuses, and he got caught here. He got arrested. He's actually been arrested multiple times. He is a sex offender, but it feels like they just don't really take his crimes all that seriously because this guy gets caught and released more often than a bass in a lake. Like, you can find articles and even videos of this guy doing this shit for years. Like, here's another one from quite a while ago, also prowling the local bookstore.
Hey, are you following me?
No. My bad.
Yeah.
In this clip, you can even see he had hair. Kind of like how One Punch Man trained so hard he went bald. This guy sniffed so much ass he went bald. He does not stop. He is a maniac on the loose. And he continues to just get set free to keep repeating this over and over and over again. You can find almost countless reports of him going to multiple different locations, just huffing as much fumes as he can from strangers' keisters. It's so fucking weird that the authorities just let him out so willy-nilly. And Surprise, surprise, the reason I'm talking about it again today is he has just been arrested again for doing the same thing, this time in a Nordstrom. Before showing you his newest degeneracy, I'd like to make a brief mention that today is Forge Day. So Starforge is doing its biggest sale of the year where you can get up to $1,000 off PCs. So click the link in the description below to get yourself a Starforge PC.
And previously captured on a TikTok video lurking too close for comfort near unsuspecting women has been caught on camera again committing a similar act. The suspect has been arrested, this time for following women inside a Nordstrom rack in Burbank.
Real quick, I've got to just make a mention of something here. Take a close look at his mugshot. Anything look out of the ordinary here? His fucking ears. What is going on with those puppies there? He's got Shrek ears. His ears look like Fred Burger's nose. Man glued 2 bugles to the side of his head and thought people wouldn't notice. Like, what in tarnation?
Micah, it's almost too creepy to talk about, right? A man sniffing women inside local stores. I talked to Burbank police about it tonight, and they told me they consider him absolutely dangerous.
So dangerous that they keep letting him out with just a slap on the wrist. Yeah, it really seems like they take his threat very seriously. He is dangerous. This guy is a sex offender who is preying on his victims, and the authorities keep letting him out to repeat that cycle over and over and over again. They're not doing a whole lot to protect people from this guy that they consider to be very dangerous.
38-year-old Khalees Crowder of Glendale was arrested, but now it appears he's been at it again, this time preying on women in the Nordstrom rack in the Empire Shopping Center.
Wandered into the women's section of the store. There's a solo female and a female standing there alone shopping, and he's did the same kind of behavior that we'd seen in the past. Get close to the female, crouch down, pretend as if he was looking at items or, searching for something, and unfortunately conducted in some lewd behavior.
The officer describes his MO. It's the exact same tactics that he's used at so many other locations in the past. He apparently crouched down, fiddles with some items to make it seem like he's looking for products, but what he's actually doing is just getting into optimal olfactory position, crouching near a woman, so that way he can stick his nose near her rear end and take a huff before leaving. It's concerning that the authorities don't, actually punish him for a meaningful duration. They just let him out so willy-nilly. I don't know if the authorities just expect the women to plan for this as some kind of everyday occurrence, like, listen ladies, Burbank butt sniffer's back on the loose. He was in jail for the last 3 days, but our hands are tied, so he's out there, so maybe don't wipe your ass this morning. Go ahead and let it crust, because if you're at a store, there's a chance he's there, and maybe you'll scare him straight with a pungent stench, You gotta take matters into your own hands, because we're not doing anything.
Within minutes, Burbank police caught up with the suspect in a nearby Walmart. Crowder has a long history of peeping, prowling, and burglary. He's a registered sex offender and was on parole. Tonight, he's locked up again, being held on $100,000 bail.
He's all over Burbank, Glendale, who knows where else.
We talked with women at the Empire Shopping Center tonight who say Crowder should not be on the streets.
It's ridiculous, and it's such a violation of privacy and space, and I can't believe that they let him out. He needs to stay in there.
I think she's right. I think it's very clear that if this guy is not in jail, he is nose deep in strangers' asses. And not only that, he has a long history of other things as well, as mentioned in the report. He is just a career criminal. It is absurd that they keep letting him out so fucking frequently, and then they always have to go arrest him again because he is preying on more victims. Come on, it's absurd. In 2023, he was arrested on suspicion of peeping and prowling at a Glendale home where children were present, and had previously served time in a state prison on burglary and robbery charges, being sentenced in February 2023 to a year in jail for indecent exposure in Santa Clarita. However, he was released early anyway.
Witter feels he never should have gotten the chance to victimize anyone else. Court documents show he was out on parole with a history of convictions for lewd conduct dating back to 2021.
It's
crazy to think that someone like this, who's constantly stalking and violating these people, is allowed to be out and about.
We took those concerns to police, asking why he wasn't behind bars.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's frustrating, but we can do what we need to do.
That's really all he had to say when asked about that. We do what we need to do, which I find to be a bit of a peculiar response. Like, not really. Like, you're not really doing what you need to do, which is protecting people from this guy, which you've had the ability to do by actually punishing him accordingly instead of letting him out early. Like, which seems to be a common occurrence. Like, you're not really doing what you need to do. And the victims are all kind of saying the same thing. Why the fuck does he keep getting let out, like, on parole and, you know, just getting let out early to go victimize more people? It's pretty ridiculous. I think they're right. It is ridiculous. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. That's it. See ya. I learned about an extremely degenerate cop today that had a video surface with his behavior that's probably more embarrassing to the department than that cop that started going like G.I. Joe mode and just mag dumping after an acorn fell on his squad car. Officer Anthony Hare of the San Diego Pussy Department found himself in hot water after he was caught red-handed in the back seat with a female arrestee after she said she was down to fuck. So, one can infer from the context here that they weren't back there playing any Magic the Gathering. They weren't having themselves a commander night. There was sin and semen that contaminated the vehicle. He laid down more than justice that night. He's since resigned, but you can scrub away the cum, but you can't scrub the video footage because it has surfaced. Not of him actually, you know, doing the dirty deeds here, but of him being caught because he locked himself in the back seat and thus needed assistance. And speaking of assistance, I bet you need help drinking beverages in a better way. That's what this Moist GamerSupps Waifu Collab Cup is all about. It's still available for about one more week, so go ahead and get this puppy right now. It's the finest goblet you'll ever drink out of. I'll put a link to it in the description. But anyway, let me go ahead and show you the video here as we go over the more particular elements of the case. So there was an officer in San Diego. Here, I'll just play the video. You don't even need to read the breakdown. I'll just show you the video real quick.
Well, you're not. Don't say that right now. No, I said don't say that right now because everything's being recorded right now.
So this opened my eyes to a problem that I talked about a lot. That cops have full control over when they can stop recording something. So he mentions right there, this woman's like, I'm super down to fuck. And Anthony, he's pitching a tent. He's like, oh. And he's like, wait, don't say anything because this is still recording right now. He hasn't had a chance to turn it off. But he does. He does get that chance.
What's going on?
So then he takes her down here, and then they slam ham, and he gets locked in the back seat of the car. So he pulls over here. He and this woman, they do the hanky-panky in the back seat of the police cruiser, and Goober's stuck. So then another officer gets to the scene to free him. In front of a house. Yeah, that was another thing. The place he pulls in front of is just a fucking house. Like, imagine, like, you see the police car pull up, you're like, oh god, what's happening out here? And then you see this officer fucking in the back seat of the car here. Like, he didn't even go anywhere secluded or anything. He literally just slabs up in front of this house. I also just learned a little, I guess a little hack here for police cars. You can open the back door with that. That's a little trick.
114 yellow. We're code 4. Everything just went wrong. Okay, hold on. Let me turn my camera off.
Isn't that fucking awful?
She's code 4? She's code 4. Okay. Yeah, let me turn this off real quick.
Wait. Before you confess to all of the awful shit you just did right here, let me turn off my camera. So that way there's no evidence. You turned off your camera, right? Okay, good. Just making sure. That's so dumb. If you can just turn it off whenever, it's so fucking stupid. Typically it was like, oh, the camera malfunctioned, but here it's just like, wait, let me turn this off. Like, what's the point? No, he got fired. Or resigned or whatever. His claim is that he was just checking on her and that everything went wrong. You can see him like saying like, everything just went wrong. I was just being such a gentle sir. I went back there to make sure everything was okay. You know, I moonlight as a gynecologist, and she was having a medical emergency with throbbing pussy syndrome, and I went back there, and one thing leads to another. I'm stuck in the back seat, and now you're probably getting the wrong idea about what happened here. It was totally professional. The semen was there earlier from a different suspect. You should have seen this fucking maniac. This degenerate was jerking off in the back seat and fucking blowing loads all over the place. It's not my semen. And if you can trace it to me, it's because it's because he got some of my hair. He got some of my DNA. Oh, he was looking for contraband. So true. Keeping the streets safe. I was back there purely to make sure there were no drugs. She obviously planted the evidence on his belt. Now, the official explanation here from the source itself, Mr. Anthony Hare, says that he went back there because he believed that the woman was having a medical emergency. I'm actually inclined to believe Mr. Hare on this claim because I think there is a very high chance she was suffering a medical emergency. Cock withdrawals. This is a serious medical condition. In fact, it claimed the life of one of my buddy's grandmothers when we were growing up. She actually passed away from wiener withdrawals. If left unattended, the symptoms can be severe and even life-threatening. So Mr. Hare was just following his code to the letter. Protect and serve. Penis. And he didn't want to do it. Brother is a hero. He shouldn't be forced to resign over a misunderstanding. He should have been given the key to the city, I'd say. This whole thing is a classic example of it's not what it looks like, you know. He did what he had to do in the moment, and then, if we go back to the explanation, it all makes perfect sense. When he was getting out of the car, it accidentally knocked his body camera off, which is just a pure coincidence that the body camera, went dark after she had made the statement about being down to have sex, and after him mentioning that the body camera was recording things. It's just really just unfortunate timing that he happened to have knocked the body camera off and it went dark right after those things had been said. But it could happen to anybody. According to the other officer, Mr. Hare was pretty embarrassed, refusing to elaborate on exactly what was happening and why he needed him out there and why he was asking about like a master key to the vehicle and stuff like that. And the woman was also, interviewed by investigators, and she claimed that he had asked for her number and to meet up when she was released from jail, saying he wanted to get with me when I was done with the warrant or whatever I got arrested for. She told investigators there was never any sexual contact between her and Mr. Hare. Really? You sure about that? What happened? Was there ejaculation showers that night? Why did he have cum on him? Where was that? Did someone like drive by and like throw in a cum potion? Like, how did that happen if there was no sexual contact? But who am I to question the official story, I suppose? One thing I would like to see a little bit more elaboration on is why the officer who showed up told him to stop talking so he could turn off his body cam and they continue the conversation. That's a little weird, right? If it was all just like a big misunderstanding, wouldn't you want that on record so you could clear up all of the misconceptions about it? That just seems a little suspicious. I just think it's super dumb that at any point in time, an officer can just turn off their body cam, and that doesn't lead to a lot of questions about why. I don't know, that just rubs me the wrong way. Kind of defeats the whole purpose of it, really. I wonder how often this happens. Probably more often than you'd think, I would guess. You remember, I actually made a video on this one like a year ago. There was a cop who slabbed up in front of a school, I think it was a high school, and had a woman come into his police cruiser so they could fucking clap cheeks, so that way they could steam ham together in the back seat of his police cruiser in front of the school, and then he would kick her out. So they were like having an affair, and they do it in front of a school. So it probably happens a lot. In general, is it illegal to have sex in a car? That's a really good question. I'm gonna Google it. Because I think it would count as like public indecency or something, right? Wouldn't it, if you got caught? But like you can have sex in a car in your garage or something. Like if it's on private property and not in public. Like I think you just have to be out of view of the public. Generally, it is illegal to have sex in public if a reasonable person believes that someone will see them. Therefore, if you do not have reasonable expectation of privacy and you decide to have sex in your car, you could be brought up on criminal charges. Yeah. So you can if it's not in public view. So somewhere private. Which makes sense. Makes membership pricky. Though I like the idea that there's just a blanket illegality to it, like having sex in a car will have you in jail no matter where you do it. So like you park your car in your garage, you fuck your wife or whatever, and then all of a sudden the sirens are blaring like, get the fuck out! Get off the ground! We know what you just did here! You're going to the slammer! Having sex in a car! Have you no decency? If you fuck in your car in the garage, do you leave it running? Educational question. I guess it depends on how long you last. If you're a one-pump chump, you could probably get away with leaving your car on, but if you actually go for a while, like maybe there's a carbon monoxide risk, potentially. I guess it depends on how long you do it. I would say you'd probably want to turn your car off just to be safe. You could at least leave the electrical on and have the air blowing. Probably don't need the whole car on. If you die mid-nut, will the semen that comes out still be viable? I don't see why not. My favorite lolcow, the goober of Gadoosh, Wes Watson, has been arrested. It happened last night while I was streaming, so it was a beautiful little present that we got to engage with and go down the rabbit hole on. And today, the rare super specimen alpha male was negotiating a bail with his lawyer to the judge. John Bravo covered it, and I want to show you a little bit of that bond hearing before showing you about the arrest. This is all tying back to that brutal assault he had on the 7-foot monster who accepted Wes Watson's challenge to fight him. The 7-foot monster went there expecting a 1v1. It was not a 1v1. Wes Watson was surrounded by the goof troop, who beat him mercilessly with weight belts, dumbbells, and striking him in the head numerous times, upwards of 40 times, while he was down on the ground. And when the 7-foot monster was crawling away after everything was said and done, even though this had already been done and dusted, Wes Watson came back with a soccer kick that absolutely could have killed him, and it led to a facial fracture and concussion. Now, he has been arrested for felony battery.
Wes Watson, the piece of shit. He was in court this morning. They fuck up everywhere. They don't even see the guy has a prior, okay? But again, this is not a trial. This is just him begging and pleading with his bitch lawyer to try to get a bail for it.
I believe Mr. Watson has numerous defenses, including stand your ground, self-defense, and consent to this charge. I understand the state's theory. However, this individual came to Mr. Watson for the specific purpose of challenging him in a street fight.
Objection! I'm gonna hit you with that Phoenix right, because that's just not the whole truth, nothing but the truth. That's a fucking fib. Wes Watson has a history of challenging everyone who gadooshes him to fight him. He openly challenges tons and tons of people to come to his gym to fight him. And the 7-foot monster was one of those people that accepted the challenge. Yes, he filmed it. Yes, he was the one that pushed Wes Watson first, but he didn't strike Wes Watson. He approached him. They got into a verbal argument. He shoved Wes. And then that was the end of him attacking Wes. Then it was Wes and his 3 friends hitting him with dumbbells, weight belts, getting him to the floor and striking him in the head as many times as possible in like 2 minutes. And then Wes coming back after it was all over to soccer kick him in the head again. I truly don't believe that you can make a sound argument for self-defense when you watch the entirety of that footage. Now, this is not a trial, I recognize that. This is him just trying to get bail so he can post it. But they really do fuck up. They didn't know he had a prior? How? Wes Watson brags about his prior, the 7 years he spent in jail. He brags about that more than someone who peaked in high school who can't stop recounting the glory days of being the high school quarterback like 40 years ago. He will not stop talking about how much time he spent in jail, yet somehow they didn't know he had a prior?
Your Honor, I don't see any local or out-of-county priors here. I would defer to the court and just simply ask for the stay-away order.
The victim suffered a face fracture, concussion, and 2 black eyes, but it looks like you have a very valid legal argument, Mr. Gottlieb.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would ask for an ROR.
$2,500 count 1, $2,500 count 2 with the stay-away order.
Okay, I just want to, real quick.
Mr. Watson, please don't make any statements. You and I can talk about it. Thank you, sir.
Sorry about that.
No problem. No problem. I'll make sure your bond is arranged. Thank you, Your Honor.
Wes just couldn't help himself. He wanted to yap so badly. I bet he was offended that they didn't see his prior. He was probably going to correct them like, excuse me, Your Honor. This is a load of bullshit. I am a rich stud. I spent 7 years in the slammer, and now look at me. I'm driving 10 Bugattis, and I'm teaching men how to be like me, damn it. The super stud. I went to jail for 7 years. Don't you forget it. I mean this with no exaggeration. Him being in jail for 7 years is probably his proudest achievement. He does not shut the fuck up about it. He is always mentioning how he was in jail for 7 years. So I actually think he was hurt that they didn't see his prior. Now, this again was just for bail. I'm sure he's very happy with how this went down, but I'm hoping that when this does go to trial, they won't be making fuck-ups like this. They won't be making errors like overlooking the 7 years he had already spent locked up. Anyway, though, let's go over his actual arrest here. We did a nice dive into it on stream, so enjoy. It really is just a wonderful thing watching Wes Watson get arrested. Alright. Wes Watson lol cow update. Apparently he's getting arrested. Wes Watson has been allegedly arrested by Miami PD an hour ago. Witnesses confirmed he was put in the back of the car. Reason unknown. Probably has something to do with the blatant assault that was on camera. With Wes Watson, it could be a number of things. Maybe it isn't the assault that we watched. Maybe he was, I don't know, hooping paperwork in the bathroom of the gym and someone reported him for it. It really could be anything. The police gadooshing him. Yeah, he just can't stop. He's a gadoosh magnet. And what's really sad and almost poetically beautiful, Wes Watson isn't really a known name, so there's not a single article written about his arrest. It just comes from Ballbusters with 20 likes. You gotta check the county, you have to check the county mugshot to see his charges. Okay. Oh, here we go. Yep, they got it here already. They did all the hard work. Alright. So they got him on battery and aggravated assault, which is what we saw in that footage where he beat that man with weight belts and then his friends were also beating him and he was soccer kicking his head when he was on the ground. What an alpha male, Wes. What an alpha male. But he's back at home. He spent, what, 10 years in jail, and he talked about how much he loved it. Talked about how he'd always, like, show his butthole around or whatever. Whatever he liked to brag about. How good he was at hooping his paperwork. I'm sure he's happy. I bet he is going to be more comfortable in that cell than in his $90,000 or $900,000 a month rented mansion or whatever it is. I already forgot. Numbers always change. 5'8", lol. I mean, everyone knew he was short. Did he pretend he wasn't? That's not surprising. You can literally see him next to people and recognize he's not tall. He's taller than you. Yeah, barely. And I'm short. He used to say he was 6 foot. Oh, Wes. That's so sad. You want to know something even more sad? He's probably not actually 5'8". He's probably closer to my height at 5'6". They probably had him in his fucking clown shoes, giving him an extra 2 inches. Kind of like what they do for basketball stats, where they just put your height like a little inch or two taller. Oh, the mugshot! Oh, see, he looks happy. He looks at peace. This is actually the happiest I've seen him look in, what, months? Because usually he's red in the face, melting down, talking about getting gadooshed by Redditors. He's just perpetually on edge. Even when he's talking to his girl that he rents, he's always, like, mad. And he's always trying to, like, prove something. But here, he looks, like, so serene. He's in his happy place again. He's back in jail, baby. I'm excited to see what they set his bond at. This is fresh, too. This is straight off the press. We got boots on the ground right now for this. How'd they get him? Well, it was filmed. They have multiple angles of him beating the shit out of a man, soccer kicking his head while he's already on the ground and hitting him with weight belts. John Bravo counted it. What was it? 48 hits to the head? From Wes alone? It was something like that. God, it is crazy how he replies to every single person in text messages. I want to be able to identify men by their assholes easier. Nice. That is something Wes said. In Wes's own words, he said people used to identify him not by his face, but his asshole when he was locked up. He would brag about that. He really is a lol cow. He is. He responds to every single DM, every single text message, everything. And then when someone finally takes him up on his infamous "come fight me, bro," he has his friends jump him and they hit him with weapons, dumbbells and weight belts, and then kicking his head while he's on the ground for like 45 seconds, delivering well north of 40 plus blows to the head and 4 soccer kicks. Also, he literally did say that verbatim. I even played the clip. Okay, here. I got him again from my same phone number I pranked him on a month ago. I'm interested in coaching. Let me know and you can go over more details. What's up, bro? What's your main focal point? I'm 5'5", 240. I eat cupcakes, chips all day. I beat my stick 8 times a day. Sometimes I even drink it because it tastes good and I'm a freak, but I want to break that habit. Are you messing with me or do you really do that last part you texted me? Don't waste my time. I really do it. Oh my god, I'm not reading all this. Jesus. $5,999 a month. Or, great deal, $15K for 3 months. Whoa. Wait, I gotta stop the music for that. That's a steal. That's an incredible deal. He's just giving his juice away. He's getting this Krabby Patty secret formula into the hands of desperate men for such a low cost, only $6,000 a month? Holy. Okay, I'll do the 12 months for 40K. Great! You need it! Okay. Oh, is this where the leaf blower meme comes from? Is this the genesis? Do I need a leaf blower to start? Do I need to rent escorts? Do I need to rent supercars? Do I need to rent a mansion? Do I need to beef with Reddit users daily? Do I need to scream at people on Instagram? Do I need to drive around my rental in circles? Does every body part need to be tatted? Do I need to use Metal Gear Solid exclamation points, basically, after every sentence? Do I need to turn gay? Do I need to link up with Lados and Nick and circle jerk with him at Elevation? Also, will Diddy be there? I knew you were a troll. You're nothing but a beta bitch. Fuck off and keep being a pussy. You'll never be anything in life. And then a picture of a leaf blower. This is not real. Nope, it is. Wes Watson, if he wasn't in jail right now, you could test it yourself. If you DM'd him saying like, hey, I'm looking for coaching, he would respond being like, yes, for only $6,000 a month. What do you want? And if you just like hit him with anything like you're a bitch, you'd be like, all right, well, and then he'll go on like Instagram and post a story. So I had this bitch come at a stud like me. Can you believe this? Oh my god. Daily. Actually, I'm gonna check his Instagram right now. I'm gonna wager a guess he has nothing shy of 30 stories just today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Just shy. We just missed it. It's crazy. But here he is. I don't know I wonder what he's complaining about.
You'll understand there's a fucking point there. And I know the answer to all of this shit, but you guys don't seem to. You guys keep falling.
It's just because you're a galaxy brain, Wes. No one goes to jail more effectively than you, brother. Yeah, he does that like 30 times a day, at least. Unfortunately, his arrest is going to make it so he's going to fall short of his quota of stories on Instagram, unfortunately, but You know, it is what it is. When you're a stud like Wes, sometimes you gotta go into the slammer every now and then. It would be over 30 if he wasn't in jail for the past 2 hours. Yeah. Yeah. He got felony charges, lol. Yep. I know. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Wonder how many people send him the 6K. I don't know how many people send him the 6K, but there's a lot of dudes that try and suck on his meat and try and do exactly what he does. So there's like an old guy that this subreddit was clowning on for a while. I forgot his name. I'm sure if I scrolled down far enough, I could just come across him. But there's a couple dudes that do literally what Wes Watson does one-to-one, even mimicking the way he speaks. Like his voice intonation, everything. One-to-one to try and carbon copy his success. If human beings continue to evolve for the next billion years, I'm confident that we will never see a specimen more pathetic than Johnny Somali. It's almost impressive how unlikable he is. He is a miracle of everything going wrong in a human being. He is the apotheosis of cringe. And he's just been arrested again in Korea. While he is already actively facing charges, some of which he's already pled guilty to, that carry 5 to 10 years in Korean prison, he is still going on stream and doing his best to get more charges added on top of it, even just basically saying that his whole goal is to just keep getting arrested on stream, and he does it all for $5 donations. But I think the money isn't the driving factor for him. He does it for the love of the sport, just to continue to get arrested and humiliated. That is Johnny Somali's purpose in life. He is a punching bag who goes on a global tour of getting his ass beaten by all of the citizens of the countries he starts streaming in. And now in Korea, his goal is to get his ass beat in Korean prison for the next 10 or so years, it seems. He is going on stream with the sole purpose of doing illegal things to keep getting arrested in Korea. It's fascinating. He treats crimes like Pokemon cards and he wants to collect them all. He is doing everything he can to break as many laws as he can while he is still in the middle of all of the other charges he was facing before this. It's intriguing. Huge Johnny Somali update. I just watched the Atozi video on it. He just got arrested again in Korea, but they let him go. I am so glued to the Johnny Somali case. He is a fascinating lolcow. And while I've been optimistic that Korea is going to actually just skullfuck him with all of the charges he is gathering, like he is gathering them like the Dragon Balls right now. And right now all of our wishes are trying to be granted with like a long prison stay. But in the meantime, while he's still in these active cases, he gets to go home in Korea and stream. So his content has become people giving him $5 for him to go get himself arrested. So he continues to just keep adding more and more and more and more and more charges to it. So last night, here, I'll just play some of the Atozi video.
Prank called the police, then said if he got enough donations, he was going to run out and get arrested on the street. And that's exactly what happened.
It's so beautiful. For $5, this guy will run out and get himself arrested while he is currently facing other charges that are carrying a minimum, or between 5 to 10 years, without all of the other charges he's getting on top of it. I don't know how he still is able to do this. I don't get it. Of course, I'm not a Korean judge. In fact, I'm not even a Korean. But how in the world can this guy, who is making a mockery out of not only the legal system, but the entire area, still be able to keep doing this? He's doing it on purpose too, and he knows that. It just blows my mind. He is actively still fighting not even fighting, he pled guilty to charges that are carrying many years of jail time.
Right now, I swear to God, look at the upstairs. I'm calling the cops right now on the watch. I'm calling the cops right now.
Oh, he's so bad. He's so naughty.
So he wanted
no, don't do that, Johnny. Oh my God, that's crazy.
Then someone donated $5, and that's exactly what he did.
Let me see the bread. Oh! Hey, listen, are you police? Are you police?
Hey, yes, police.
Police?
Yes.
You know my name? My name is Johnny Somali.
Johnny Somali?
Are you song for police?
Police emergency call 112. Do you need help in police?
Korean emergency 112?
Yes.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Accident, I'm sorry.
That's the whole prank call for $5. Oh, he does it a few times though.
Right hello. You know me, Johnny Somali.
Yeah.
Johnny Somali?
Somalia?
Johnny Somali.
It's crazy what he'll do for $5. I actually believe you could pay him $10 not only to suck your dick, but like actually suck a fart out of your butt. He will do anything for just like a couple of dollars. Like $5. Think about that. There is so little you can act. The purchasing power of $5 is less than like spit. You can't even buy a full fast food meal for $5 anymore. And yet he's willing to get more charges on top of his charges that he has already pled guilty to for that. If you gave him $100, he would probably throw himself in front of a train if you asked him to. The man is just another level of degenerate.
Oh no, we're going to jail.
I guess that last comment right there was for seeing something.
Call the police. Call the police.
So he just walks around annoying as many people as he can find. Then he does like a little dance here. Where's his dance? Here it is.
Let's go, Korea! Korea #1! Yeah!
What an unfortunate build. Nobody chooses this body type in video games. That is so rough. So he goes around, does this for a while. Eventually, the cops show up and they arrest him.
We live, shoutoutparty.com. Come, I'll give you my passport. Come.
He looks like a Titan. He actually does look like that Titan that runs around like this.
Relax.
Go on, take a video.
This is not what you want the judge.
So he gets arrested, but they let him go. Again. I don't get it. So I'm starting to lose faith that Korea's actually going to lock him away for any length of time. I think maybe, and this could be cope, they're letting him continue to do these things so that he gets more charges, so they have more grounds to lock him away for longer than the 10 years he's already facing. But even then, I just don't think that's a great strategy. He is actively doing this on purpose to rub it in the Korean government's face. Why let him continue that? He doesn't get detained or anything. How much do you think he makes per stream? No Way Party has ads, so it's all donations. My prediction is maybe $100 a stream. So I skimmed through his stream a little bit. He makes less than $100, at least of all the content I've seen. Because keep in mind, every prank call he does here is $5. And he only did, I think it was three or four prank calls to the police. And then he ran around half naked, looking like an absolute abomination. An amorphous blob. So like, that's not a lot. He gets $20 for that. How can he afford to keep doing this shit? Isn't travel expensive? He can't leave. He literally cannot leave Korea right now because he is a criminal and he is facing a lot of charges. Again, just to refresh your memory, he has already pled guilty to charges that carry 5 to 10 years in jail. So he can't leave the country, but he's also not in jail right now, so he just gets to go home, drink himself to death on stream, and then get himself arrested time and time again. 5 USD is 73.38 Korean won. USD worth more in Korea, so it might actually work out for him. I guess until he actually goes to jail, which he's coming to terms with now. Like, he himself is starting to be... Like, this is like when you're a child and you first start gaining sentience, right? Like, you're just sitting there with, like, a fucking chicken tender in your hand, and then one day it kicks in and, like, oh, I'm thinking. Like, I'm conscious. That's happening to him, that he's realizing he's not going to have freedom again. But yeah, that's the Johnny Somali update. I am glued to it. And I gotta be honest. The plot twists have me starting to question if he's even actually going to go to jail. The fact they just let him go during all of this is crazy to me. They might deport him instead of paying to jail him. And that would be the saddest ending if they do just deport him like everywhere else has. Like, I don't know why no one will just step up and actually punish him. I don't get it. I really don't. It's so fucking frustrating. I'm praying Korea's the heroes we need when it comes to Johnny Somali. You remember a while ago when Overwatch blew up, so every company on the planet tried to bite that bosom and make their own slop-ass hero shooter and flooded the market with garbage? That exact same phenomenon's happening right now with human beings on TikTok. Every single day, there is a new broccoli hair prankster or 3D printed Looksmaxxer that just spawns in, gets a following, and then snowballs from there. And today I just learned about a new one named Hulo, who is a Looksmaxxer that is now facing 15 counts of possession of child pornography, all of which he has publicly admitted to. They have pretty much irrefutable evidence based on what's available, and that's only what's publicly available, not even everything they submitted to police. And despite all of that, there are still oodles of people defending him, even though he has publicly confirmed that the evidence is accurate about his purchasing and possession of child sex abuse material. There are still these revolting mosquitoes, these flies that are attaching themselves to Hulu or Hullo. It's probably not Hulu. The streaming service probably would have cease and desisted him if that was his name. Hulo, whatever it is. They're still attaching themselves to his butthole to suck his farts and fight tooth and nail for his honor, even though he has admitted to these unforgivable crimes. That's the state of things right now. It's sickening. I talked about this same thing happening like with David, how the Dipshits for David movement is still defending him, saying he's been framed, even though there is so much evidence publicly available and the case is still ongoing and not looking good for him. They are still willing to die on this hill that David's innocent, and now in this case, Hulu is a good guy and he deserves to be defended. I'll start here before going over Gideon's investigation of it. He has been arrested, and here is all of the charges he is facing here. Now, based on some of the reports I saw, this could carry up to 25 years in jail if he's found guilty on all of these, but it also varies from the different sources I read from. It's a long time in jail here. And the fact that they have these charges against him, the possession of this material, means that they probably have evidence of it. Outside of just Gideon's video where he admits to it, I imagine they have something far more solid, because they wouldn't... Think about all of the other, like, predator catchers, where they do get the pedophile to admit to things, and that becomes inadmissible. There's a lot of times where that can't be used. So you don't see them ever get these kind of charges. The fact that he has 15 counts of this means that they probably do have very solid proof that he had this material.
This is just one of the Telegram messages that he was talking to. Just one. So, as you guys can see first, he messaged first. He said, "Hi. This is what the trader said. CP, teens, and all group links available. Which package are you interested in, and what's your budget?" He said CP, $25 max.
So, to give you a bit of context here, like the lore, his ex found out what he was purchasing, the CP that he was purchasing, and then Gideon found out about that because of her blowing the whistle on it. Then they teamed up as well as predator poachers. They went to the police, they submitted the evidence, and then also publicly started to out some of the evidence so that way people could see it and stay away from him. And I've talked about this a lot. I think when it comes to shit like this, putting it out in the public is extremely important. Making sure that it doesn't compromise the authorities' investigation on it, but also alerting the community so they can stay safe as well and avoid these kind of fucking monsters. So I totally understand that approach. And what you were seeing there is some Telegram messages. Gideon goes through a lot of them. This is him trying to purchase CP for $25, and this became a meme in his community, as well as like a couple other Looksmaxxers made it like a joke to try and water it down and like sterilize it, like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, haha, $25 for cheese pizza, which they all keep calling it on TikTok. So he even posted like a 5x5 joke about it.
So his manager, who I will be outing later, is purposely telling his client to make jokes about him buying CP, CSAM. That $25 he spent $25 to watch and jack off to children's innocence being taken away. And he knows he did that, yet he posted this meme.
Evil shit, man. This guy is purchasing videos of children being raped and then making a meme out of it. And apparently at the direction of his manager. It's actual demon shit.
He said hi, they said hi, CP content available, and he says how much.
More Telegram messages get posted that show him cruising these telegrams attempting to purchase CP. So Hulo, I'm just gonna call him Mason. His real name's Mason. I don't know how the fuck to say his stupid handle online. So Mason was going around trying to purchase all of these videos and did successfully buy them. And was then confronted directly where he just started singing. He just started squealing and confirming all the evidence was true.
You guys can defend him all you want. You guys can make all the memes and jokes and all that. But keep in mind, this man has a 10-year-old sister and an infant sister as well. And listen to what he admitted.
Like that you saw? A little bit of this, a little bit of that. I guess. Okay. So I'm just gonna ask you straight up because you've been straight up with us. You're gonna be straight up with this too. Did you masturbate to those videos of 12-year-olds? Or was your hand rubbing your penis at the time that was being watched?
It was just, I guess my hand was on my dick like the whole time. I'm just going through everything.
Okay. So was your hand going up and down on your penis?
Yes.
Okay. So it's fair to say that's probably masturbating.
Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate you being honest about that, dude.
On camera, openly admits to masturbating to videos of 12-year-olds being sexually abused, and the Hulo is innocent gang doesn't care. He is then asked again if the allegations are true, and he confirms they are. That he downloaded those videos, he claims he deleted them. Also, says he, told the police. When directly confronted, he openly admits to it. And it's all on camera. And now he is being charged with 15 counts of this. And still, people are defending him. In Gideon's own chat there, you could see a lot of people saying he's not a bad guy, free him, it's not that big a deal, that kind of thing. You can literally see it in Gideon's own chat. And then on TikTok, his community is standing beside him 100%. As if it's, some kind of mistake that he made that he'll learn from. That's not a mistake. That is pure evil. He is buying videos of children being raped for his sexual pleasure. He apparently tried to say that he was in a dark place when he was doing it, but now he's a changed person, so people are like, oh, he deserves a second chance. No, we can't let his life be ruined over this. He was just in a bad spot. Do you know how many people are in a bad spot that don't turn to paying money to watch videos of children being raped so they can jack off to it? That's not an excuse. That's not a justification. It is pure demonic evil shit. And people are just giving him a pass. And fighting tooth and nail for him. They got their fucking shield up going to bat for him like white knights to defend Hulo. Even though he openly admits to it, he is being charged. They're pursuing 15 counts of possession of the child sex abuse material, and still people don't care. They think that this isn't that big of a deal, and that, well, he was in a dark place, so we can't be mad at him for it. They're not even saying that he's innocent, that he didn't purchase these and watch these. They're not even saying that. They are saying they don't care that he did. It's just unhinged, man. It is actually scary. Because it's not a small amount of people. It's not. It is not a small number of people. I know you can always point to these fringe outlier freaks that'll defend anyone and anything. But here, you can find a ton of them. Go to any post that's talking about this, or go to any video, or go to some of the communities. There's even some people in the Looksmaxxer community that are going to bat for him. You can find so many people defending him. It's just, I just cannot wrap my head around how we even got to this point. I don't get it. I don't get it. There is just nothing that is just universally condemned anymore. There isn't. Even just objective evil like this no longer gets a complete condemnation from human beings. Sanity is just devolving. It's scary. It is completely unhinged. Anyway, I just wanted to yap about this. I think it is a great thing that he is being charged with all of this. He's a fucking disgusting monster. Anyway, that's really about it. See ya. I've said for months now, many moons, that Andrew Tate is one of the most entertaining clowns the internet has to offer. But today, the circus finally closed. Andrew Tate and that zit that has latched himself on to Andrew Tate like a leech, Tristan, his brother, have both been arrested on human trafficking charges. The clip of Tate being escorted to the police vehicle instantly went viral, and I really love how the officers are dressed in this video because it looks like they're ready to fight the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but then it's just this goofy goober Andrew Tate. Now, this isn't Tate's first rodeo with human trafficking charges, but last time he just blamed it on swatting, calling it all just fake and a hoax, and all the meat riders that attached themselves to Andrew Tate's butthole like a hemorrhoid, of course, wrote this off as corruption and a bunch of baloney. But now it's happening again, and this one seems a lot harder to just dismiss. But you know what they say, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, well then you're just breaking out of the matrix, am I right, hustlers? The Hustlers University is what Andrew Tate is most famous for. You pay $50 a month for a Discord server, which is the most pathetic thing on the planet, and I think adds to the comedy of Andrew Tate and all of his fans. And in that godforsaken Discord server, it acts as like Alcoholics Anonymous, where people just hype each other up and tell each other their problems with not getting laid or not being financially stable, while getting lectures from people that aren't even Andrew Tate on the most basic stuff imaginable. They hype themselves up as top G alpha males, but they're pissing away $50 a month to learn basic drop shipping techniques and how to do push-ups. I'm gonna let all of you in on a secret. Even the people that are very successful that like Andrew Tate are not stupid enough to be paying $50 a month for advice you can find on WikiHow. It is so embarrassing. It's a scam, and you're not in on it. You're the victim, and yet you're so brainwashed you continue to swallow his whole meat for it with a smile on your face. He is preying on insecure men, and he is doing everything he can to keep you a virgin. When you're a virgin, you're a Hustlers University student. When you're a virgin, you're an Andrew Tate supporter because he's feeding you things you want to hear and you're taking it as, you know, telling it like it is. Meanwhile, you're unhappy and still not getting laid. And he's also giving you bad financial advice because when you're making money, you'll learn that everything he's saying is fucking worthless. So he needs to keep you just broke enough to afford the $50 a month that you're wasting on his awful techniques and awful advice. Andrew Tate's entire business and career relies on you being insecure and financially unstable. So obviously he doesn't actually want you to succeed. You're just paying money for hopium. Snap out of it. You leaving Hustlers University is you leaving the Matrix, goddammit. Just think about all the money you'll save not paying for that shit. You could afford a gym membership. Then you could access free information for workouts online that'll actually give you results. You can get big and strong like me. This is very long-winded. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked because we're talking about Andrew Tate and it's such a wacky situation. I couldn't help but throw all this in here. But yeah, Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate, they've been arrested on human trafficking charges following an investigation that's been ongoing for quite some time. And the way that they actually apprehended him is extremely silly. It all ties back to a Twitter argument he had with a teenage girl. I'm sure you've all seen it. It was very public. He made this statement to Greta Thunberg about the emissions and his supercars and all that, and then she responded with a dunk on him that went viral. It's one of the top 25 most liked posts on all of Twitter right now. It's got about 3 million likes and counting, basically just saying he has small dick energy in response to what he said to her. And this sent him into meltdown mode. He very clearly got a bit hurt by this response, and one of his immediate tweets after this was talking about having sex with her, where some fucking lunatic on there is like, Andrew Tate and Greta need to fuck already. And he just responded saying she isn't ready, which is super creepy and weird, just actual degenerate shit here. And when I first read this, I thought this was just full mask-off pedophilia. I didn't realize Greta Thunberg was 19. I thought she was still like 16 or something. So when I read this conversation, I thought they were just openly talking about fucking kids. Like, I had lost my marbles for a second. I had to Google to make sure that these weren't just two people admitting to being pedophiles. But yeah, it turns out that she is 19, but that doesn't make it any less awful to say shit like this. But all of this stress of being dunked on in such a big way was clearly very taxing on the smooth brain of Tate. So he then made a response video. And it's a very cringe response video. I actually think they should have slapped on an additional charge for cringe. He should have been hit with human trafficking and overwhelming plus ultra fucking turbo cringe, because this response video was abominable. Anyway, he made this video, posted it out there, big smile on his face, super excited. I'm gonna get the last laugh. You don't dunk on me. I come in here and I fucking dunk on you. But then a new slam and jammer entered into the equation. The Romanian authorities. You see, in this video, he made a mistake. He included a pizza box from a Romanian pizza place, which let the authorities know that he was still in the country. So, after realizing that, they tracked him down and arrested him today. The authorities gathered all the evidence they needed, and because Andrew Tate couldn't fight the urge to publicly argue with a teenage girl on Twitter, they got him and his brother. It's almost poetic in a sense. He got finally taken down because he just absolutely couldn't fight his own ego. It's a guy who gets a lot of credit for being smart despite being an absolute fucking buffoon. Like a legitimate goddamn troglodyte. He made this emotionally charged, absolutely pathetic response video to try and look cool once again for his audience, and in doing so, he led the authorities right to him and his brother, who had been, I guess, evading them for quite some time. Pretty wild situation, honestly. He begged, he whined, cried, threw a tantrum, demanding he get his Twitter account back, and that ended up being the thing that put the final nail in his coffin here, it seems. Now, of course, we'll have to wait and see what happens with the charges and where this goes from here, but I think it's a little hard to explain away 2 instances of human trafficking with Andrew Tate here and raids on his property. That's not just a common occurrence. That's not something that just happens like a whoops-a-daisy. I guess it wasn't human trafficking. We made a mistake here. We got wires crossed. He's actually completely innocent. That's not something super normal. Of course, mistakes do happen when it comes to law enforcement, but human trafficking is one that doesn't pop up all that often. And I know a lot of people like to say it's just because Andrew Tate was so powerful and telling it like it is. He was revealing the truth and breaking out of the matrix. What the fuck are you talking about, you goddamn idiot? All he was saying is like, oh, you need to treat women this way, and they're gonna treat you this way, and you'll get pussy this way. And you need to do this kind of drop shipping in order to make this kind of money. Like, that's not exactly something that the government's gonna have a huge issue with. Him feeding you bad information on getting pussy, and bad information on making money. Like, he's not revealing any kind of crazy secrets that the government would try and come after him for. He's just an internet asshole. He's just a troll who found a way to milk money out of insecure dudes. That's not something that the big eye in the sky, you know, the man behind the curtain's gonna come after him for to silence him with false charges. This isn't some giant espionage movie. It's all pretty simple to follow stuff. Like, if you stop to think about it for a couple of seconds, it just doesn't make any sense why they would come after him if there's no real charges or any, like, real stuff, shady stuff going on. But yeah, the human trafficking charges are extremely concerning now. It's some very serious shit, and I've already seen some extremely hard cope from Andrew Tate's fans saying that human trafficking's not even a big deal anyway. Like, it's blown way out of proportion, or, you know, it's not a real issue, which is super alarming to read. Like, goddamn, to think human trafficking's not a big deal is mind-blowing. Very brain-dead stuff. But again, we'll have to wait and see what happens now going forward since he's been arrested. We'll see what comes from it, but I still find it to be a wacky situation, and, you know, it's a little odd that it's happened twice now. So, yeah, pretty crazy stuff that I thought was important to talk about, and that's about it. So, yeah. I have been following the Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX collapse closer than I've followed anything else in my entire life. I've been tuning in actively to every single thing that Sam Bankman-Fried's been doing. I've been like the NSA on his ass, just watching every Q&A, every painful, uncomfortable interview he does. I was there watching like a hawk. Every time his silly little mouth uttered the words, I don't know, I couldn't know, I don't remember, I don't recall, I'm not sure. I was there, with fucking blood pouring out of my ears, having to listen to his grating little helium-infused fucking voice try to weasel his way out of every question tossed his way. I was there watching. I spent more time studying Sam Bankman-Fried than I did studying for my SATs. And now, we are finally reaching the climax to this entire ordeal. Sam Bankman-Fried has officially been arrested. It is such a breath of fresh air. Like, I was actually shocked that he got arrested, because over the last couple weeks, I really started to believe he was going to get away with it. With the way journalists write about him, like he's some kind of angel, and to the fact that there was no like open investigation that I was hearing about like often, I just thought he was just going to get away from all of this. He was booking interviews up until like yesterday when he was arrested. He still had like interviews booked with major outlets. Like, I just thought, you know what, game over. The bad guy wins. You know, there is no justice. But then, out of nowhere, like a deus ex machina, he gets arrested. And it turns out they've been investigating him, and this is going to be a very big case. So, a great plot twist here that I'm super happy to see. So let's go over the situation here. I went over it on stream, so I'll just play you the clips from that. So SBF did finally get arrested in the Bahamas. It is amazing news. And somehow, even in all of that, this headline still finds a way to suck his dick a bit. How effective altruism let Sam Bankman-Fried and the FTX collapse happen. They're still calling this fucking fraud altruistic. It is despicable. Absolutely despicable. Even still, right now. Crazy. It's just crazy. But yeah, he got arrested in the Bahamas. And with any luck, he will be facing some very extreme charges. I don't see how he wiggles his way out of it. It really feels like this will finally be some justice served. I'm going to imagine at this point Sam Bankman-Fried is really regretting all of those interviews he's been doing. I bet he is really kicking sand like, damn, maybe I should have stopped doing Twitter Q&As where I just actually admit to crimes. Who could have expected this result? Why didn't he just lie low? Bro, I have no idea why he didn't just lie low. He was just so addicted to the meat swallowing. Like in the crypto space, when you have a crypto project it doesn't even have to be successful. You have your cock handled by crypto bros 24/7. They fight for you on Twitter. They run all of your marketing for you for free. And I'm just assuming he was used to that kind of attention. He wanted to continue to be looked at like this god that the crypto community treated him like. I do wonder, and I didn't read this in the other article I read about it. Granted, it wasn't this article. I do wonder if they're going to go after his girlfriend, the 28-year-old Harry Potter fan. What did she do to get labeled as a Harry Potter fan? I don't know. So when they were still writing all those fluff pieces after everything came collapsing, or actually it might have been before, I don't remember the timeline now. They're writing articles about her, calling her like, look at this 28-year-old Harry Potter fan who's managing billions here. Wow, it's absolutely incredible. And then she'd be doing these interviews where she just doesn't know what she's talking about. So now that's become her legacy. She's the 28-year-old Harry Potter fan. Very quirky. Does Atrioc talk about it? Here, let me watch Big A's new video on it. I bet Atrioc is celebrating so fucking hard. He has been doing such a great job with this story from the very beginning. I bet Atrioc's wiggling his finger right now.
Ladies and gentlemen,
that looks about right.
Two things for stealing and defrauding millions of customers.
So I'm going to say, I didn't think we'd get here. I was losing so much faith in an actual set of consequences for Sam Bankman-Fried. I am absolutely shocked. I really didn't think we'd be able to get him. It didn't seem like they even cared. This man was still booking interviews with the biggest outlets imaginable. And they were still writing pieces about him being like a hero who had some unavoidable catastrophe happen unjustly. I just didn't think it happened. I really didn't. I was losing faith, but then we brought it back, baby. And now we have a potential good conclusion to this anime arc for Sam Bankman-Fried. And that FTX hat that Big A's wearing is fire. That's looking good here.
But a person close to the matter has revealed, according to this New York Times article, that the charges include wire fraud conspiracy, securities fraud conspiracy, and money laundering. He got hit with the quintuple whammy. And the thing is,
sir,
I've
the
read
5
a lot
fingers.
of articles like this
That's
one
big.
for the past month now, especially because he's been on a notorious PR tour for the past month, going around to every media outlet that'll have him and saying, oops, I fucked up.
Yeah.
And every
Oh, I
one of
love
these
that
interviews,
defense.
anytime someone asks him a hard question, you have to promise to never ever say you fucked up again. I told them to go fuck themselves.
What a hero.
Well, you might want to
What a
listen to him,
saint.
Sam, because it is looking extremely likely that a lot of that's going to come back to haunt you.
The thing is, like, I said this when we were talking about the CoffeeZilla interview. His defense has been this entire time, I'm just an idiot. I'm so stupid, man. I'm so sorry for all of these mistakes. I'm just dumb. I'm just this absolute brain-dead troglodyte, and, I'm just a dummy. And that was his whole defense. Like, you can't arrest me. I'm stupid. Like, that's been the entire time, and it's been working. Like, it's actually been fucking working. But yeah, I have to imagine his lawyers have not been happy with the way he's been conducting himself in terms of defense. And like the open admittance to fraud with CoffeeZilla, that certainly didn't help. I do think CoffeeZilla's interview will actually be cited in court. It has to be usable, right? Like that's not, like that wouldn't be something that they could keep out. Like I feel like that'd be a good piece of evidence.
Over and over again, there is an innocent explanation. I'm a goof. I'm a big dumb goof.
Yeah.
I'm a big curly-haired League of Legends loving goof. And I didn't know that you couldn't take customer funds and punt it on crypto and lie about it. I didn't know that. I didn't know you could replace all the deposits with a made-up FTT token. In fact,
what do you mean I can't just take all the customers' assets and buy worthless shitcoins with it? What? That's terms of service. Our terms of service? You mean I violated those? I have to play by those rules? No, oh my god, how silly could I be? This is how embarrassing. I'm so sorry. This is just a really, really, absolutely embarrassing moment for me.
Issue a brand new FTT token and distribute that.
What?
That's a productive plan. No! That is not the solution.
What the fuck?
Sam, that was the problem. That's why you're here to begin with. I made a lot of mistakes.
Who wrote that? This is like that is just the actual biggest Twitter crypto moment I've seen in a minute. Give the worst possible idea, and then some people for some reason agree with it. Hey, yeah, just fire on the old money printer. Why doesn't Sam Bankman-Fried just print more dollars to make everyone whole again? Fuck, it's that easy.
Again, already
we knew that
should be illegal. Second, Alameda used client funds to engage in margin trading.
We knew that.
Extremely risky
Now it's proven
debt-fueled
nice.
trading. So taking your money that you deposited in a bank to be held safely and then punting it on incredibly risky crypto bets without your knowledge or consent. Again, illegal. And
this is really cool because this is exactly what CoffeeZilla called him out on to his face. Directly to him, where SBF kind of had his armor dented and just like admitted it, like straight admitted it to CoffeeZilla. Those like 2 points in particular. And now we have the Enron guy, assuming this is his real statement, I imagine it is. We have the Enron guy echoing that, which is wonderful. They also forgot a charge for sucking ass at League. Well, we haven't finished all the charges yet. They're not all unveiled. So that could still be tacked on there for being hard stuck bronze 3. Check CoffeeZilla's community tab. Oh, did he post something in the community tab? It's gotta be him like taking a shot or something, like maybe just pumping his fist saying, I told you so. Or like, I did it. He should absolutely be taking some credit. Oh, no, he's just hyping up the video for tomorrow. Fuck yeah, nice. I thought this was gonna be a picture of him just maybe doing a little TikTok dance or something to celebrate. Do I think he'll see any jail time? Yes. I was skeptic. I started to lose faith that he'd actually be arrested, but now that he is, those charges are huge. I just don't know how he could possibly weasel his way out. If he had just shut the fuck up, like if after all of this happened, if he had just gone dark, off grid, have his mommy and daddy buy him a farm somewhere in the middle of fucking nowhere, no electricity, live like an Amish person for a while, I think he may have been able to squeak his way out. I think maybe. But he has been so open with this shit for the last month and a half. I can't imagine a world where he could, squeak a little stinker out of there and not face jail time. He was too addicted to clout. He's gonna call Saul. Yeah, I mean, anyone shy of Saul he's fucked. His parent, yeah, chat's right. His parents are compliance lawyers, but I don't think that means they can somehow save their son here. Like, that's kind of useless at this stage of the game. I don't see how them being compliance lawyers is in any way going to be helpful to getting him out of these charges.
Next topic, which is what I'm a little bit nervous about. Again, I am no conspiracy nut, but being a crypto billionaire, former or otherwise, is
he's gonna. I'll brief. Well, he'll probably give the context. There was a crypto billionaire recently who turned up dead after making a. I don't know if it was one post or a series of posts alluding to the fact that some very dangerous people were after him. That was some pretty shady shit. That was a pretty creepy thing. That happened only a few days ago. And apparently that was one of only like 2 or 3 or maybe even more crypto billionaires that have turned up dead recently. So it is like that is a pretty scary set of circumstances. Yeah, it's like actually getting Epsteined. Except this one was just blatant murder. Like, I believe the most recent crypto billionaire was, like, his body was found at the sea. Like, it washed up on shore. Let me double check.
Mr. Koolander here died at 30 a few days ago. This guy.
This guy.
Nikolai Mushigan, 29, died a few days ago. Yeah, Taran. So, a Russian crypto tycoon, he died in a helicopter accident. Now, again, all of these seem to have innocent explanations, but 3 of them dying within a few days of each other, all in the crypto space, is odd.
Yeah, it is peculiar. I would say the one with the paranoid tweets isn't exactly like the most innocent explanation. Let me double check. Which one was that? Right before Nikolai passed away, he tweeted some suspicious conspiracies surrounding the government on October 28th. Okay, so not that soon. Tweeted that the CIA and Mossad and some pedophile-related organizations noted as the pedo elite are running some kind of sex trafficking and blackmailing business from Puerto Rico and the Caribbean islands. And then he said that they're going to frame him with a laptop planted by his ex-girlfriend who was a spy, and they will torture him to death. So that does read like somebody that's a bit paranoid, but he actually did turn up dead in Puerto Rico not long after. Previously, he's mentioned fighting some evil people who use debt and blackmail as weapons and claimed that he shall be murdered under the disguise of suicide by the FBI. It is very strange. The cause of death is just drowning, right? He left his beach house located in the posh locality Condad of San Juan for a morning walk. His estate is estimated to be $6 million. Later in the morning at around 9 a.m., some local surfers discovered his body at a Puerto Rico beach. They reported it to the police, and his identity was confirmed. They mentioned the beach is famous among surfers, although Nikolai was not known to be inclined towards surfing. They also noted that it's dangerous due to swift currents and rocks, and signboards are warning to be safe, but they're speculated to have broken due to the typhoon. So, a bit odd. But yeah, his tweets actually do read like someone that's probably got some kind of mental illness, but he really did turn up dead here. So, maybe he really was being hunted. That's the conspiracy. It is weird. It is weird. Especially since it's already the 3rd crypto billionaire death in a short period of time.
Why? We want to hear more about what was going on at this company and who else was complicit, because this is fraud that stinks to the top. And we don't want
I can assure you, the 28-year-old Harry Potter fan is all but innocent in this. I'm shocked that, well, they must not have found a paper trail for her yet. I'm shocked that she's not already in their net. So I speculate that during the trial, she gets roped into all of this. He's not making it to trial. That's getting deep in the weeds. I just can't imagine what he would have on people that they'd want to shut him up for.
It's awesome to see him arrested, and I'll be following up this story consistently. You can tune in on my Twitch channel, check out more, and watch out for more YouTube videos. Thanks, guys, for watching, and let's keep an eye on this.
Yeah, Big A's been doing such an amazing job covering this entire saga of SBF and FTX. I don't really know what the speed of movement is on a case this big. Maybe this is quick by other standards, but to me it felt remarkably slow. And maybe that's just because of how painful the journey was to get here, with all of the major news outlets treating it like he wasn't a fraud. So maybe that's why it felt so long to me. I don't know. Yeah, most people are saying this was super fast. So yeah, it really must have just been all of the news outlets that really made me feel like this was a not only not coming, but also excruciatingly long. I feel like I've said this 100 times by now, but I'm gonna yap about it again, so get ready to add to that tally. Being the first person to accomplish something will always be a significant achievement no matter what it is. Whether you're Matt Damon being the first person to grow potatoes on Mars, or Charles White being the first person to achieve a sub 20-second speed run in the game Mr. Krabs overdoses on ketamine and dies. Both of these things are something to be proud of. And a few days ago, we got to witness something incredible. The first human being to actually beat Tetris for the NES. This is something that has never been done before in the 30-plus year history of the game, and it's a feat that was long thought impossible. But that's what people said about my growth spurt, and trust me, it's on the way. Nothing is impossible. And the runner named Blue Scooty proved that by reaching the first true kill screen for Tetris. He posted the run on his YouTube channel. His real name is Willis. He's 13 years old, and he did something no one else has ever done before with this accomplishment. It's extremely impressive here, and there's a great video that breaks down what makes it so special, as well as kind of the entire history of running Tetris. So I highly recommend checking this video out to really get a full understanding of the scale of this achievement. So as you would expect, everyone got really excited about this. People love to see something being done for the first time ever, being able to feel like you're part of history to witness this moment. And everyone was pumping their fists, celebrating this achievement from Willis, except for one lady. One miserable old asshole had to go out there, and instead of pumping her fist, she was shaking it, saying, "Damn you kids, you hooligans, this isn't cool. I'm not having any fun, so why should you?" and spit on it on a news broadcast. She's this journalist who made an absolute fucking fool of herself. All right, let's talk about Tetris. So I'm sure all of you saw this yesterday, but big news, or was it yesterday or 2 days ago? I think it was yesterday. Big news though, a 13-year-old became the first human being to actually beat Tetris. So fundamentally what that means is the game stopped working. He had a score so high that the CPU just couldn't process it anymore, and it stopped working, which is crazy. It's a wild accomplishment. Like, it's super cool. So here's the clip. There's a great YouTube video on it already. But the kid's super excited, and he has every right to be. It's a wonderful achievement. Very wholesome, very cool. Everyone was pumping their fists for the kid, except for Ebenezer Scrooge over here. This absolute witch. This lady took it as an opportunity to belittle it and insult him. So here's a segment from Sky News, which is already a joke of an organization. And I guess this host was having a bit of a rough day. Needed to shit on some people's fun. There we go.
Now, Tetris has long been touted as a video game that just can't be beaten because it just goes on and on. Well, 13-year-old American Willis Gibson has technically proven that wrong. He beat the original Nintendo version of the game by reaching such a high level that the coding froze. That left the program unable to generate any more falling blocks.
Now, ordinarily, as a news anchor,
Step away from the screen, go outside, get some fresh air. Beating Tetris is not a life goal. Speaking of fresh air, let's get a look at the weather.
Good one. So as a news anchor, you would think that your wholesome news segment, which this was, it was supposed to be uplifting news, you probably wouldn't want to sully it by shitting on the person, the subject here. But she just couldn't help herself. There's no way that was in the script. And she's so fucking proud of herself, too, for insulting a 13-year-old. Oh, whoops, misclick.
Step away from the screen, go outside, get some fresh air. Beating Tetris is not a life goal.
I don't understand. It is a very impressive achievement, and it's not like we're in the early 90s anymore. You can make a whole career out of an achievement like that. That kid could go on to do a lot of cool things, as that being his lightning rod moment. That is something to be proud of, and could legitimately turn into a more prosperous career than this soulless husk of a woman sitting here on Sky News with this hollow smile. probably in a loveless marriage. I'll get parasocial. Like, he literally did nothing besides just enjoy himself, pull off something really fucking cool, and she's just going with the classic, oh, go outside nerd shit. It's so ridiculous. And, like, legitimately out of nowhere for an uplifting news segment. This kid should try Donkey Kong next, take the title from Billy Mitchell. Billy Mitchell would go to his house and break his kneecaps himself, personally. And then pour his hot sauce brand in his eyeballs or something, try and blind him. For his own safety, Willis should stay away from Donkey Kong. I'm gonna sue a 13-year-old for being better than him. A crazy plot twist would be if Billy Mitchell sued Willis, assuming Willis takes the title, of cheating. That'd be almost poetic. Oh, look, this is cute. The makers of Tetris agree. Congratulations to Blue Scuddy for achieving this extraordinary accomplishment, a feat that defies all preconceived limits of this legendary game. Tetris CEO Maya Rogers said in a statement. Rogers noted that Tetris will celebrate its 40th anniversary this year and called Willis' victory a monumental achievement. That's so fucking cute. It really is a monumental achievement that Willis should be extraordinarily proud of. He's earned it. And he also dedicated that world record run to his father, who had recently passed away. So the whole situation should have been a very wholesome, heartfelt moment on Sky News here, but this venomous asshole decided to insult the kid for this and belittle the achievement publicly with this smug little smile on her face, like she was so happy with herself to be ruining other people's fun. Or trying to make a 13-year-old feel bad. It's craziness. This is a grown-ass adult. More than a grown-ass adult, it's an adult that's teetering on geriatric these days. And to do this, it's just frustrating. It's no surprise that everyone online came crashing down upon her, dunking on her left and right, because she made herself the easiest asshole on the planet to dislike. Just so miserable. So yeah, I just wanted to cover that briefly because this is an incredible achievement that unfortunately was sullied a little bit because of her reporting, but I actually think it had more of an opposite effect. Yeah, a lot of maybe the older octogenarians that are watching Sky News probably were like, ha ha ha, this is stupid, kids playing games isn't cool, or that's not a real achievement or a life goal, like she says, ha ha ha. Like, while they may not care and may belittle it, this actually put more of a spotlight on Blue Scooty, his achievement. So I think, in turn, this may have actually been even more beneficial because it got even more people aware that Willis had just done something that had never been done before with this Tetris world record. All in all, it may have actually been a net positive that this lady made an absolute clown of herself publicly for everyone to throw tomatoes at. But I just wanted to cover this briefly. Another huge congratulations to Blue Scooty. I'm excited to see where the Tetris community goes from here. As of making this video, there's already been 2 other runners that have also reached the true kill screen. So kind of like when the 4-minute mile barrier was broken and then a lot of other people started to be able to get 4-minute miles, that's kind of what's happening with Tetris at the moment, with 2 other runners reaching this kill screen. So really incredible stuff, and I'm excited to see more from it in the future. So, yeah, I just want to talk about it a little bit. And I also want to give you a quick Starforge update, the best PCs in the universe, in case any of you are needing to upgrade your PC or needing to get a PC to start with some gaming. Starforge is the best option available. You can click the link in the description below to get started. And here's a little word from Starforge.
With generational improvements, aesthetic updates, and our consistently high build quality, this system is bound to be the envy of both family and friends alike. For yours, check out StarForgeSystems.com, and I'll see you in the Forge.
I first heard whispers about this story a few days ago and talked about it briefly on stream, but a ton of information wasn't known about it at the time, and now a lot's happened with it since. So in a nutshell, an anonymous user in a Minecraft Discord dropped some classified documents into the server, and it was initially written off as a bunch of fanfic nonsense, just a load of dirty barnacles, a bunch of hooey. And fast forward a little bit, and it turns out that what was shared in that Discord was legitimate classified Pentagon leaks. So it became the subject of a huge investigation because they realized there was a huge security risk because someone just leaked real Pentagon documents in a fucking Minecraft Discord. So they then began scrambling to identify the person responsible for the leaks. I have no doubt they investigated Herobrine, that dirty bastard. But ultimately, they concluded their manhunt and found the person responsible. It's a 21-year-old young man whose life has now forever changed course, all due to this leak. His name is Jack, or he goes by his online handle, Jack the Dripper, which is such a banger of a username, especially in this situation. And when they identified him, they sent the whole kit and caboodle after him. They assembled the goddamn A-team to take him in. Like, look at this shit. They spared no expense here. Probably had like fucking 15 choppers and a submarine pull-up. They got the goddamn G.I. Joe out here for him. I can't see it in the video, but I have no doubt that there's also 45 ghillie-suited soldiers laying down in the grass just in case things pop off and get a little hairy here. What's even wilder is this is considered one of the worst breaches of US national security in this century. That is incredible that it happened in a fucking Minecraft Discord from Jack the Dripper just feeling a little drippy, so he leaked a bit. He leaked these documents which have now become the biggest one of the biggest security breaches in this country's history. There's more than 50 documents that have been fucking potato sacked onto the internet now. The ones that have attracted the most attention include details from the US military briefings on the war in Ukraine, and there's so many questions about why this happened, and according to the analysts, the possible answers range from a failure of operational procedure inside the Pentagon to someone trying to win an argument on the internet. I fully subscribe to the belief that this was all motivated by an online argument. The last 5 or 6 years have truly laid bare human nature, and the main thing we care about is winning fucking useless arguments online. There is no length people won't go to defend points, and there is nothing that they won't sacrifice for it. It's like a religion at this point, just arguing on Twitter about nonsense. Oh, you said Demon Slayer's mid? Bang! Here's some classified legitimate CIA documents about Area 51, bitch. Ratio. Demon Slayer top tier. Like, literally will do anything. It's sacred to win an argument online. So I really do feel like that was the primary catalyst for why these leaked in the first place. There's also these tweets that show screenshots from 4chan with someone using some of the information in these documents to argue. On March 4th, over a month before the Telegram and 4chan post, 10 documents were posted in a Discord server called Minecraft Earth Map. So, clearly, these were dropped and then used in arguments in order to get, like, a one-up on people. And I bet they immediately wrote that shit off as fake news, garbage, baloney, which is wild because they are legitimate Pentagon documents that are confirmed authentic. But I guarantee it was useless in the argument and it got slapped down and written off as absolute fucking horseradish. Arguing online is more important than breathing to a lot of people. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this really was why it leaked in the first place, to win arguments against people. So I agree with the tweet here. This is going to be like an iconic 4chan moment up there with like pool closed due to AIDS and shit. Pentagon leaks just to argue on the boards. I'm getting a little off topic, but I absolutely have to slide this in here and mention something that's very similar. War Thunder has actually had its fair share of controversy similar to this, where disgruntled gamers have leaked classified documents due to being upset at the in-game depiction of the tanks. So it's happened a couple of times, and they get into an argument on the forums about the way that the tanks were portrayed in there, like their stats and all of that, I believe. So in order to prove their point, they would drop the fucking manuals to the tanks, which are classified documents, I guess, in order to prove, like, hey, this is a bunch of fucking baloney. Why would they possibly represent the tank like this when it's clearly in the real world like this? Which is a crazy mic drop. Like, this is fucking stupid. You guys don't know what you're doing. Here's the manual. And why don't we actually look at the real tank and then you can get it right? Goddamn idiots. So they've done this a few times, just leaking classified documents in order to win arguments about these tanks in War Thunder, which is such a power move. That goes so crazy. Hell hath no fury like a gamer scorned. Wild stuff. But anyway, we'll get back on track with the Minecraft Pentagon leaks. Now, Jack the Dripper, or as he was also known in another community, OG, is a 21-year-old who was part of the intelligence wing of the Massachusetts Air National Guard. They were able to kind of hone in on him pretty quickly. It was only a few days after this whole thing blew up. So they're saying there doesn't seem to be a clear motive here, and they're also unsure of exactly how many documents were leaked. So some are saying it's 50, some are saying it's all the way up to 100. And they're also saying that the amount of people that would have clearance to this is actually pretty significant. So he was posting these leaks weekly, beginning late last year, all the way up until last month. They said that a few documents were shared on Russian Telegram channels, which were crawling with journalists trying to understand what Russian groups are doing in the Ukraine and looking for original images or information from inside the war. And once that really started to catch a lot of steam, that's when it really put it on the radar here. Is like, oh, there's like a security problem, which is what prompted all of this to start being taken so seriously. The Washington Post described the Discord server as an invitation-only clubhouse with about 25 active users, where an elder-like figure known as OG lectured younger members of the group on global affairs and secretive government operations. So they actually had their own little, Illuminati table here, like something out of a fucking James Bond movie where they all get into a Minecraft Discord server for a bit just to talk about these top secret documents and go over it. Now the war room here where most of this played out was in a Discord channel called Thug Shaker Central, which was populated by mainly fans of a YouTuber named Oxide. Now, Jack is a 21-year-old, and he's not even an intelligence analyst, so there's already been a lot of questions being asked about how he'd even have access to these documents in the first place. But he did have a higher level of clearance because his role was ensuring network protection. And my man here used that clearance to go absolutely hog wild on some classified documents for the Thug Shaker Central. I also just love that they're going to have to do this investigation very, very thoroughly, and the place they're going to have to keep going to is Minecraft Discords and Thug Shaker Central, in order to really capture the magnitude of Jack the Dripper and his security breach. That is, that's actual fucking, fanfic levels of craziness. This is a failure of imagination as far as counterintelligence goes, but I think the absurdity of the leak is also something we need to grapple with. An understanding of these communities is not something you would expect senior folks in the US government to have been able to build a threat model around. Which sounds about right. A lot of our leaders are old fucking fossils that don't even know what an email is half the time. So I have no doubt they never once even envisioned this as a possibility, that some guy might just start shitposting classified documents. Whereas I'm surprised it's taken this long, and I bet it's actually happening more commonly than we think, and we just don't see it that much because it stays in smaller communities like Thug Shaker Central. I imagine it's not exactly the most unheard of thing in the world. It's just this is the one that really started to catch steam because it had been so long and continuing to go. Overall, just a wild situation, especially considering these weren't just useless documents that meant nothing or anything. These contained sensitive information and were very much important documents that were being shared and dropped in Minecraft Discord and then circulated elsewhere. So pretty crazy stuff all around that I had to talk about it because my God, how could you not? That's really about it. So yeah. I'm confident that a large number of you watching this video have been the victims of porch pirates or package thieves at some point in your life. It's becoming an ever-increasing crime that's more common than jaywalking at this point. Now, as the video title is already spoiled for you, yes, we were recently the victims of porch pirates, and we've got some nice 4K footage compliments of the Ring doorbell that caught them in the act, and I just really want to talk about this because it is so frustrating that this keeps happening. And what's even more frustrating is just how bubbly she is while stealing our shit. She looks directly at the Ring doorbell and basically just smiles at us, just stares a hole through our soul, because she knows she's going to get away with it, and she has. They aren't really able to do anything. Authorities can't fucking track her down just by knowing what she looks like. This isn't a game of guess who. So here comes our little angel now, and this is clearly not her first rodeo because she brought some equipment here. She's got a big bag in order to efficiently steal packages, so that way she doesn't have to struggle with carrying multiple packages in her arms. Just look at this efficiency. She's a well-oiled machine. This is some shit out of Ocean's 11 here. She's in and out within 30 seconds, gets the whole kit and caboodle, and then even blows a little kiss on the way by, looking directly at the Ring doorbell. Excellent work, ma'am. Also, for any astute observers out there, That vehicle parked in front of the house, that soccer mom Batmobile, that was her getaway car. She had the chutzpah to not only casually walk up to the house, slowly pick up all the packages, and then waltz away smiling. She even parked her car basically in the driveway of the place she was robbing. She didn't even do the standard shit that you see in crime heist movies where they park like a block away before robbing a bank. Everything was so bold and brash, and it doesn't matter because she did get away with it. Now, I blurred her face because I'm not trying to lead a witch hunt here or anything. Of course, I don't care about protecting the identity of a criminal, but I do not want to engage in any kind of witch hunt behavior. I'll explain what she stole in just a moment, but I also want to explain that this is not me that was stolen from this time around. This is Matt. These little goodies that were stolen were Matt's, and I'll go ahead and give you the little post-game analysis report to tell you what her grand total is that she made off with. Incalculable wealth. She basically won the Powerball by stealing from Matt. She got priceless artifacts, treasures that not even Nicolas Cage would be able to steal, like the Declaration of Independence, because they're too important and too valuable to even put a price tag on. One of the items was a custom birthday present that Matt spent like 6 months working on and ordering and getting finished and finalized for his sister. It was a birthday present that Matt had waited half a year for to give to his sister that finally arrived, and now it's in her hands, so I can promise you there's not shit she can do with it unless she happens to share the same name as his sister and the same interests. And then the big package that she stole is actually a package that was meant for all of us, not just Matt. It was our most recent merch line. I shit you not, this isn't just supposed to be some kind of merch plug. She stole our prototype merch. This happened quite a little bit ago, so we were waiting for some prototype merch to come in to see how everything feels and looks to make sure that it's up to our quality standards and make sure that it absolutely slaps. And that was that package. So she made off with some alpha merch here. This is a bigger haul than robbing a bank. She broke into Fort Knox and stole something far more valuable than gold. Moist Global merch. For our anime streetwear line, which I'm going to use this as an opportunity to plug the merch here as a little ad section. That line is available now. We had to get another shipment sent to us so we could test it all out and make sure it's all good, and it's fucking amazing. So the anime streetwear line is available on moistglobal.com right now. The items are so good that it possessed this woman to steal packages off people's porches just for the chance at finding these puppies. This shirt's available, these pants, this hoppy coat, which has become a favorite of mine since I've been wearing hoppy coats so often now since we started that. This hoodie, and so much more. So much incredible stuff at moistglobal.com. You can click the link in the description below if you want to just get taken there instantly. Now anyway, back to the topic at hand. So Bozo did get away with the crime, unfortunately, and it just boils my blood because this is happening to everyone everywhere. Like I mentioned, since everyone is basically shopping online these days, there's not a whole lot of, brick and mortar purchases. It's going to people's doorstep. The packages get there, and then some people just swoop in and take it, like reverse leprechauns coming to steal our pots of gold that are left out on the porch. It's extremely frustrating. Oftentimes, it's just total strangers that are just going to random houses looking for packages and then taking them. Other times, it's your neighbor coming in and swooping in, taking your shit. You can't trust anyone. There's reptilians among us and they're taking all of our things. Just look at this. The arrogance is infuriating. Basically giving a thumbs up to the Ring doorbell camera, smirking at it, knowing that she's being recorded and watched, but it doesn't matter because she also knows that she's going to get away with it. Also, love how she's wearing a Hurley shirt she must have just finished stealing from PacSun, and she is way too old to be in that store. Act your age, lady. It's so frustrating. This porch pirate found the one piece with our Moist Global merch and then also stole an extremely important item from Matt to his sister. And it sucks because this isn't like some kind of freak incident that happened. Package thieves are so common now. I don't know how often it's happened to Matt, but for me personally, it's happened a couple of times with my packages being stolen. I've personally been the victim of porch pirates only twice in my life, I believe. That's mainly because I just don't really order many things, and the things I do order are things that nobody is gonna try and steal. Like, for example, the Moby Huge. The Moby Huge is a 60-pound wiener. Like, no one's taking that. So most of those items that I get aren't really things porch pirates are, salivating over. The only 2 times that I've had my packages stolen by a porch pirate was one when I was living in my apartment complex and I was really obsessed with buying goofy instruments, so I had a pretty silly one delivered. I can't remember exactly what it was. I think it was a pocket trumpet, and someone had taken it right in front of my door. And then the second time is I ordered, I think it was Yu-Gi-Oh cards. It was either Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon cards, and they just left a couple packages out front, and someone came by and snagged them. Which is obviously not only a huge headache because you didn't get what you paid for, and it's not the fault of the seller, just some asshole came through and swiped it, but it's also just a big psychological thing as well, just feeling like it's unsafe to order things to your house because someone might steal it. It just sucks. And what's even worse is things like Ring Doorbell, like they're there to help in situations like this, to be like a deterrent to thieves and all that. But because this has become so common, it's very difficult for there to be action taken on each of these cases. And even if they do try and, figure out who it was that stole from you, piece together the puzzle pieces to the mystery and solve it like Scooby-Doo and the crew, it's very unlikely that even if somehow they do pull off the miracle and find the person that stole your packages, you're still not likely to get the stolen items back. The whole thing just fucking sucks. Porch pirates are degenerate scum. Mark Rober is a hero for glitter bombing package thieves. I love that. That's my favorite series ever. The glitter bombs against the package thieves is great. Obviously, this is a huge problem faced by a lot of people, but I don't have the solution either. Like, I don't know how you're supposed to, protect packages dropped off on the porch, unless you have, some kind of safety deposit box or a vault door that delivery personnel are supposed to deposit the stuff in and then lock on the way out. I really have no idea. That doesn't sound super efficient. That seems like it could get pretty messy and weird, so I don't exactly know what can really be done to stop this from being such a common crime. It's just one of those things that fucking sucks though, and I really wanted to talk about it a little bit, so that's it. So yeah. I very rarely watch government hearings. The only time I ever tune in is when something big happened and I'm trying to get the latest scoop on what the important information is and new developments. And every time without fail, I get nothing. Less than nothing. It's just perpetually dancing around questions without giving any real information whatsoever, and leaves me scratching my head wondering what was even the point of doing this in the first place. Whenever one of these hearings is going on, usually the person that's getting grilled doesn't actually respond most of the time. It's like talking to a stuffed animal when you're a kid expecting a response, but you get nothing. That's how these go most of the time. And the best example was the most recent one with the Secret Service director. After the assassination attempt on Trump, the Secret Service director's been catching a lot of heat and was brought in front of big government to get fed that government cheese. And they were laying into her, asking a lot of questions about the Secret Service. And she just sat there like a fucking statue, giving non-answers. I can't even put the word answer in the same sentence as what her tactic was. It was a complete waste of time. Now, since that hearing, the Secret Service director has resigned. That is a new development. That's a big breaking story there, which absolutely seems for the best, all things considered, especially after this hearing, where they just truly seem inept and can't even answer the most basic questions. Like, they would lose points on their SAT for not writing their name because they just refused to. If one of the government officials had asked the Secret Service director how many fingers they were holding up, she would have probably refused to answer. Getting led by someone like that doesn't seem to be optimal. But I just need to show you how bad this hearing was, and I didn't watch the whole thing. Maybe there were some parts that were better than others, but holy shit, the most direct questions could not elicit a direct answer or even a semblance of an almost answer. It was infuriating. The Forbes video basically covers it. Is this an actual good breakdown?
That's Chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, Mr. Jordan from Ohio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Director, were you guessing or lying? The day after President Trump is shot, see assets for Mr. Trump's detail. So which is it? Because both statements can't be true. Were you guessing or lying when you said you didn't turn down requests from President Trump's detail?
Neither, sir, and I appreciate the question.
Well, what
Wait, what?
Those statements don't...
As far as requests...
Well, maybe they got tired of asking. Maybe you turned them down.
This guy has a voice of every background character in a Ubisoft open world game. I don't know who this is, but every time he speaks, all I hear is an NPC Hey, watch where you're going. He literally sounds like that fucking stock voice actor that does those.
And you turned him down. What did they ask for and how many times did you turn him down? Pretty basic questions.
So again, without having all of the details in front of me, sir, what I can tell you is that there are times...
You didn't get briefed.
This is going fucking nowhere. This is going, like, legitimately nowhere. All of these fucking conferences and hearings seem to be absolutely worthless. Like, legitimately worthless.
Very specific questions. I want very specific answers. Most of my questions are going to demand a yes or no answer. Do you understand?
I do.
Okay.
That wasn't a yes. Should have said yes.
Both sides of the aisle today have asked for your resignation. Would you like to use my 5 minutes to draft your resignation letter? Yes or no?
No, thank you.
Was this a colossal failure?
It was a failure.
Yes.
Colossal.
Was it
Colossal?
A colossal failure is the question.
How big?
Yes or no?
I have admitted this is a terrible...
This is a yes or no series of
approximately how big of a failure?
Yes or no?
Metric system, please.
Yes.
Was this tragedy preventable? Yes or no?
Yes.
Has the Secret Service been transparent with this committee?
Yes.
Would you say the fact that we had to issue a subpoena to get you to show up today as being transparent? Yes or no?
I have always been
yes or no. You didn't want to answer the question.
Committee.
We had to issue a subpoena to get you to show up today. That is not transparent, by the way. You stated earlier Secret Service is not political. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Would you say leaking your opening statement to Punchbowl News, Politico's Playbook, and Washington Post several
What the fuck is Punchbowl News? Is that like her daughter's scholastic news reporting section? What the fuck is that? Wait, you're telling me the Secret Service director broke the story to Punchbowl News? Is that real? Pop Crave. Pop Crave as the breaking. Secret Service only communicates directly with Pop Crave and Dexerto. Nothing else. God damn it.
Hours before you sent it to this committee as being political. Yes or no?
I have no idea how my statement got out.
Well, that's bullshit. So, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, hey, pardon my French.
To ask unanimous
Bullshit.
consent to enter into the record articles by Punchbowl News, Political Playbook, Washington Post. Has the Secret Service provided this committee a complete list of all law enforcement personnel that were there that day? Have you done that? Have you provided a list to the Oversight Committee? Yes or no?
I will have to get back to you on that.
That is a no. Have you provided all audio and video recordings in your possession to this committee, as we asked on July 15th? Yes or no?
I would have to get back to you.
That is a no. You're full of shit today. You're just being completely dishonest. Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman.
Hey, please.
Come on.
Please, come on. Naughty language in the house of God. Are you out of your mind? Get her out of here. Get her out of here. This lack of professionalism is more insulting than the Secret Service's failure. Unbelievable. Oh my God. Why I never.
We have to maintain decorum in this committee, no matter
have
how
you provided
upset we
any
get.
and all memos to this committee that we've asked you on July 15th? Have you provided all memorandums within the Secret Service?
I would have to get back to you on
that. Is a no. You are being dishonest or lying. Like you're being dishonest here with this committee. These are important questions that the American people want answers to, and you're just dodging.
When the speakers said that they need to maintain decorum no matter how upset they get, his voice was actually shaking. I think he was on the verge of tears. I'm not entirely sure, but when I rewatched this segment, I was like, wow, that guy really doesn't like potty mouth. Like, the language of sailors, he was really not standing by. Here, they're talking to someone that has had a massive failure in what their job is supposed to be with this assassination attempt. And, like, he gets very concerned over her saying, shit. So I found that to be really weird. I understand professionalism is important. I get it. But, like, come on. We're all adults here. I think our ears can hear some of these words without needing to be, like, reprimanded like we're in school or something. I just felt like that was kind of comical and very like kind of childish as well for him to be like that and call her out for the language. And speaking of call outs, right now the Secret Service director is getting her ham steamed. Like, she is getting baked. So all of her dodging, which she's getting rightfully called out for, doesn't even really serve a purpose, because anyone who hears that knows that that's an admission of guilt. by refusing to be open about the questions and instead saying things like, I'll have to get back with you, or I'll need to check on that, that's very clearly a no. You are not cooperating. You are not doing these things that are being talked about right now. And you don't want to just say that. So instead you look even slimier by refusing to own up to it and instead like beat around the bush. It is so weird because the dodging doesn't even serve a purpose other than just making this even more frustrating than it needs to be.
Have you provided us all communications from the Secret Service related to that day and that rally? Have you provided this committee? We've asked for this information on July 15th. Have you provided any of this information that this committee has asked of the Secret
Well, I'm going to have to
Service?
check.
Any of it?
I'll have to get back to you.
Have you?
Yeah, no, I have to check. We put the intern on that the day you said it. We just have to make sure that they're not doing whippets right now and on task. And I'm sure they are. Yeah, no, I just have to get back to you on it. That's all. It's a yes. Yes, I did. It's on its way. Did you check the mailbox?
We haven't gotten a single document or piece of information or data from you or your agency in related to the rally that we have asked you for. So, is this
a joke to you?
Assassination of Donald Trump a failure of training or execution or both?
That's not yes or no.
I think that those are answers that we need to
Training,
examine.
execution, or both? Which one?
I think those are answers.
All right. How many Secret Service personnel have lost their jobs due to this colossal failure?
At this time, none.
Personnel have been required to take a refresher course on how not to let people shoot Donald Trump.
Our personnel are currently...
That was an interesting question. It's so snarky. Oh my goodness. That's so very snarky.
We are examining the facts of this investigation, and we will make the changes necessary.
What time did law enforcement become aware that there was an individual on the roof with a clear line of sight to President Trump?
There was a shooter?
I am still verifying timelines.
I'll have to get back to you.
Of course.
That's news to
9
me.
days in, you have no answers. How many minutes went by between the time law enforcement saw and took photos of crooks and the shooting? How many minutes?
I am still verifying timelines.
57 minutes.
No, that can't
Thank
be
you,
right.
Mr. Chairman, and I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back.
I'll have to get back to you.
Recognize Ms.
Those
Stansberry.
minutes have to be completely calculated incorrectly. That's ridiculous. Wow, that was enlightening. Thank you, Secret Service Director. These truly feel fucking worthless. Like, the people that go in there, the Secret Service Director, goofball during the first hearing, they literally go up there and they just say nothing. It's just like, well, maybe. I'm gonna have to check with my superior. I don't know. My dad called and I missed the call. Maybe he was gonna tell me, but I don't know right now. It's just so fucking worthless. Why do you think they'll say nothing? Well, the reason's obvious, but still, it's like completely useless. It's unbelievable how inept the government is when it comes to how it runs. Everything is abominably slow and beyond disorganized. Like all the fucking problems we had with U.S. immigration. Lawsuits. I'll be honest with the lawsuit, it's not going that well anymore because the government is so fucking slimy. What should have been a slam dunk case against U.S. immigration is turning into a giant fucking headache. But it's so ridiculous. It's unbelievable how inept it is. Like, I know everyone likes to attribute all of the shortcomings and failures to conspiracy, but the truth of the matter is, the people there are just dumb. Like, they're actually fucking stupid. Like, legitimately stupid. Everyone is stupid except me. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Brother, I'm dumb too. If I worked in government, I'd probably also be fucking terrible at my job as well. I'm just saying, everyone likes to attribute to conspiracy what's easily explained through incompetence. I've been seeing it firsthand with U.S. immigration. I promise you, a lot of the things you think are conspiratorial are actually just like fucking glue-huffing losers in there that cannot do what they are supposed to do. Boy howdy do I have some amazing news for you today. If you haven't been keeping up with the sad, pathetic tale of Johnny Somali, let me fill you in on the lore. I made a couple videos on him. Pretty much everyone on the internet has shot spitballs at him. He is probably the biggest loser and like the biggest communal urinal that people take turns peeing on. He's a nuisance streamer who travels around the world just getting his ass beat. He is literally like a piñata that gets delivered to different countries for the citizens to beat up and take some anger out on, because he's a racist asshole who does his best to disrupt society and make everyone's lives around him miserable. So it's justified that people just beat his ass, because he is just this miasma of cringe and just a general piece of shit. And he's so proud of it too. This is his Boy Scout badge of honor. He openly gloats about it.
So what do you want to talk about? Swing or not? Like, nigga gonna come up to me, bro, why you being racist to other people in other countries? For money. For clout. I've said it many times. I don't give a fuck. I have no morals. I'm a fucking sociopath.
You're not a sociopath. You're a dweeb. You're an embarrassing little weirdo. You're a tiny little rat that your community feeds some cheese to in order to enable you to keep entertaining them through getting your ass beat because you are a gluttonous knuckle sandwich magnet. I like that jelking Johnny tries to pretend that it's a little harder than it is, like, well, I'm just kind of a sociopath. You know, pumping out his chest, yeah, I do it all for money and clout. Because I'm a sociopath. No, you are not. You are a nerd. You are a pitiful dork who probably has third-degree burns up his butt crack because of all of the wedgies the rest of the world gives you every day. He's doing this in South Korea right now, or at least he was until he got arrested, where he is now facing up to 10 years in prison. This happened in Japan too, where ultimately he didn't get the book thrown at him. They kind of just slapped him on the wrist, gave him a little pat on the bottom, and then sent him on his way to get his ass beat in another country. But South Korea, things have been going a little bit differently for Johnny Somali, because he is getting fucking spawn camped there. The South Koreans hate him. So anytime they see him, it's on sight. They are throwing hands, and it has been just such a joy to watch him just get fucking clocked every time he fires up a stream. He's like a Wobbuffet from Pokemon. He just keeps getting like slapped around but keeps coming back. But each time, unlike a Wobbuffet, he's taking more and more damage. So as his streams have progressed in South Korea, he's wearing more and more medical bandages because he has so many injuries. He's like Johnny from Ed, Edd n Eddy. Like, next time I see him on stream, I'll probably have like a fucking neck brace and like 2 casts on his arms. That's if he ever streams again, if he doesn't face the 10 years in prison. But before diving more into that, I'd like to just show you a highlight reel, a montage of my favorite moments of Johnny Somali just getting brutalized.
소만이 어디가? Yes, sir. 어디 가냐고? You guys following the crazy? Look at you. 어디가? 어디가? What you mean? 어디가? 어디가? What is 어디가? Yo, please.
Unfortunately, I had to cut out the satisfying clobbering that Johnny Somali received here. However, I can show you the aftermath. First, credit where credit is due. The beatdown was administered by this guy right here, who went on to say that the reason he did it is because of how disrespectful Johnny Somali is to all of South Korean culture. He is being extremely racist throughout all of South Korea, and people hate him there for it. For good reason. It's very clear why so many people in South Korea have been beating his ass when you see what he's been doing there for the last, I don't even know how long he's been there. But Johnny has been so bad there that he is being investigated by the government. He can't leave South Korea and will be facing potentially 10 years in prison with all of the new stuff that they have been looking into. This is the aftermath of Johnny Somali getting rocked, very unsteady on his feet, wobbling around, looking like he's ready to receive a Mortal Kombat fatality. Normally, I'm not one to celebrate a sucker punch, but in this case, that is probably the holiest, most justified sucker punch ever delivered. Like, that is just what the doctor ordered in this case. Johnny Somali is not a fighter, so anytime something happens, he runs away like it's, you know, Tom and Jerry, and usually he doesn't get very far because he's also not athletic, so he still gets an ass beating, just more like across like a block as opposed to in one location. So I'll show you another one of those in a moment. But I do think there is a case where Johnny Somali might be trying to collect fists like Infinity Stones, like it's somehow going to make him stronger. Or maybe it's like that classic shit you see in anime where a character consumes poison in order to build up an immunity to it over time. Johnny's doing that with punches. He's trying to get punched so many times that he becomes immune to them in the future.
씨발 내병변 장애 있어? 이 새끼 내병변 장애 있나 봐. 때렸다. 레전드.
Once again, I had to cut out the impact as well as the ensuing fight, not with Johnny Somali. Johnny Somali, whenever he gets into a confrontation, he goes like fetal position, but this guy 1v3 Johnny and his friends. So after he stormed Johnny and gave him like a fucking flying kick, Johnny, of course, sprints away, and then he's not fast or anything, so he easily gets taken down further up the road. They throw him to the ground. He continues to get fed his desserts here. And then one of Johnny's friends also starts just getting manhandled by this guy. And it's just a beautiful 1v3 where Johnny and his friends just get blasted. It's so good. And one thing that's just a classic Johnny Somali move is he likes to pretend he is the victim when that happens, even though he is the instigator. So before this clip happened, it was Johnny threatening them. Like, people don't like Johnny, so they'll go, of course, like, tell him, get the fuck out, stop being racist and all of that. And Johnny will usually just keep trying to elevate confrontation in order to, you know, stir the pot and hope that something like this happens. And then when it does, he's like, oh, this is ridiculous. I've got it all on camera. It's so pathetic.
Put this in your next YouTube documentary. I don't give a fuck.
All Korean niggas is weak as
Swing on it. I was waiting for him to swing on Johnny. I was waiting, bro. I was waiting for him to do it. Reddit, Twitter, come. I wanted to stop when this Hank is here tonight. We're not scared. Go to Johnny's favorite.
Oh, another beautiful one. You can see him like charging that punch up coming. He's giving him that why I oughta right before delivering the punch. And then his friend, who was talking a big game about, I was waiting for them to swing, just sits there and goes, literally pogs out on him. It's so good. Also, like I said, Johnny and his friends did get 1v3'd. Not in this instance. This was a totally separate ass beating. There's just been so many. They did get 1v3'd. So the guy that was waiting for someone to swing did get someone to swing. Didn't go so well. It did not work out super well for him, I don't believe. Anyway, though, those are like the main clips of Johnny getting attacked, and they're just such a joy to watch. I don't know how that doesn't put a smile on your face, seeing an absolute insufferable douchebag, actually evil person getting beat up for it. Who doesn't love that? That's some happy stuff. Now let's talk about him potentially facing 10 years in prison. Now, what kicked things off in a big way was Johnny doing his classic degeneracy, getting kicked off a subway, causing a scene in a convenience store, also just antagonizing people around him, not mentioned here, but that's most of what his content is, and then sparked big outrage by kissing the Statue of Peace, which is a monument to victims of sexual slavery. He did more than that as well. Also, that doesn't really encompass what he was doing. It was beyond disrespectful what Johnny was doing throughout South Korea, and eventually that led to many South Koreans wanting to just take matters into their own hands. There was even a bounty put up on him for information so they could find him and keep beating his ass, which had me giggling really hard when I learned about that. They actually had like a 3-kill streak UAV online so they could keep tracking Johnny and keep giving him wet willies and beating him up. So then he eventually got investigated by South Korean parliament, and that restricted him from leaving the country because he's now facing charges of assault and narcotics use. Apparently, South Korea is very strict when it comes to drug use, so possession or use of illegal drugs can result in a sentence of up to 10 years in jail or a $72,000 fine. Meanwhile, the assault can carry a maximum penalty of 2 years and a $3,000 fine. And this is just a little tidbit that Dexerto threw in at the end here. Should the case go to trial, this would be his second time in court in an Asian country. After his trial in Japan, Somali admitted to lying to the judge, claiming he wasn't making any money streaming and was filming documentaries. I can only hope that South Korea will not be as lenient as Japan was with this absolute worm. He flexed, openly bragging about how he got let off easy in Japan. And his lying. It's actually crazy. I hope South Korea plays some hardball with him here and doesn't give him an inch. He is going to keep doing this across the globe. He's not going to stop. Do the world a favor. Lock him the fuck up. Please, Jesus. I mean, it's for his own safety, really. Like, it really is in the best interest of Johnny Somali to be in jail. Because anytime he's out of jail, all he does is just keep getting pummeled into the ground. So anyway, just wanted to talk about this a little bit. That's it. See ya. Ladies and gentlemen, I have fantastic news. No longer do we have to sleep with one eye open for fear we might get fucked in the ass while we're asleep by this diabolical criminal we're about to see, because the Redmond police have just made the biggest police bust of 2019. Don't take my word for it. Let's go ahead and watch the action highlight reel.
What the hell?
We tell you to stop, you stop. That's called obstructing, everybody. Learn.
Learn.
It's whack when you don't stop for the police. Jaywalking.
I swear to God, this is actual footage of a real arrest. This is not the start to a bad late 90s porno. This is as real as this shit gets. They fucking caught Cobra Commander out here. Now, in all honesty, maybe this guy did deserve to get arrested. Maybe he's a huge douchebag. I don't know who he is. He's not my dad or anything. He could have very well deserved this. But God, this is such an entertaining arrest. Let's go ahead and watch this shit again. I love how they come fucking zooming in here, and they even hit him with a stop, like in Elder Scrolls, stop, criminal scum. What I really would like, though, is maybe a theme song, perhaps, like one of them has on the back of their bike a boombox or something playing like the Dragon Ball Z intro, and when they finally catch up to their target, they hit him with like some fucking Ginyu Force poses. Stop! You've come face to face with the Danger Riders, arresting all jaywalkers and children that don't eat their vegetables. Let's go ahead and break this down a little bit. So it seems like they were engaged in a high-speed pursuit with the target when they finally caught him. It's like something right out of the fucking Power Rangers. And going by that logic, I'm sure what happened once the video turned off is Rita blasted the bad guy with a very big strongman beam, turning him into a giant kaiju where he skateboarded away. But what I wanted to talk about with just this beginning portion here is it seems like they asked him to stop, he did, and he kept skating away, so then they had to chase him down. And you know what, I'd be pretty pissed off if I was a cop in that situation too. Like, come on, I asked you to stop, I was probably just gonna tell you, hey, can you not shit your pants while jaywalking or whatever this guy was fucking doing? So honestly, I sided with the police on this, but that doesn't make the arrest any less entertaining.
Learn.
It's whack when you don't stop for the police. Jaywalking.
That's such a great place to end the video right there with the in-sync jaywalking. That's like right out of a fucking sitcom. All you need is this stock explosive laughter from the Fuller House series, and then bang, you got yourself a scene. Fucking great stuff, and I think the Redmond area is a lot safer now that this menace is off the streets. Fuck yeah. See ya.